Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Welcome aboard the only second live stream of the season so far here on the channel. Of course, during the regular season, we've had a couple beforehand, but obviously things are taking their time warming up here this year on the channel, and rightfully so, right? The Oilers haven't exactly given us a ton to talk about outside of maybe that game against the Pittsburgh Penguins and maybe that game against, last time out, the Vancouver Canucks on Saturday where we lit them up 7-3. So while the Oilers look like they're righting the ship over the past, I don't know, about I guess 12 games or so, 7-4-1 I think is the record over the last little stretch there. Things are starting to look up in Edmonton, but we need to start turning up the victories in a row here. I know the Oilers have been not bad at winning quite a few games over that stretch, but you need to start turning up 3, 4, 5 game win streaks here and start climbing up the standings a little bit. And that's where tonight we find the New York Islanders sitting in a similar boat to us, hovering in the mushy middle of the division in the Metropolitan. The Oilers 5th in the Pacific, holding down a few days ago a wild card spot, so we're a little better than we were a couple of months ago back in November 2024. Again, that's also maybe part and parcel of my little defeat here in November this year, is it's just not quite been the exact same month where the sky is falling and every video is crucial. So taking the time needed to kind of take care of work maybe this year as well. So the Oilers at 7-7-1, and then of course you've got the New York Islanders at 6-6-3 this season. So interesting to note where we sit currently with both teams, and an opportunity for the Oilers once again to climb above 500, once again try and get going in the right direction and start something positive here in what has been a kind of, a little bit of a good month so far, but a month that definitely could have some more positives to it if the Oilers so choose to get things going. So that's where we hopefully see things pick up for the Edmonton Oilers here this month, and away we go, and away everything is good. So we should be ready to rock and roll. Welcome aboard, and friends, I'm seeing about 15 of you just join in all of a sudden, so thank you for tuning in here. I know, like I said, things have been kind of inconsistent to say the least here over especially the past, I guess you could say, 15 days here on the channel. A lot going on, as you know. Kind of when I returned home and got everything going on that Tuesday or Monday, it was kind of the situation had gone up to Edmonton for UFC, and there's a whole bunch of other things in between, especially with a busy time of year at work. Kind of, it's no heat season, it's kind of also some other stuff going on. So taking care of business on that front, but we look like we are primed and ready to go for what should be a great live stream. I don't know how long we're going tonight. Again, like I said, it's busy at work and things need some focus, so we'll see kind of where we go from here this evening. But I just want to get up nice and early here on the stream, get going, at least talk some Edmonton Oilers, and at least get us going for the first period at minimum. See what the Oilers can do. If it's anything like that third period against the Canucks, we're in store for a good one. But obviously the Oilers do have to, as has been the challenge all year, deliver the goods early and often, and we'll see if they want to try and do that here tonight. The Islanders, things are looking decent for them. Ilya Sorokin's at a 4-3-2 record, 252 goals against average, 916 save percentage. The thing is, for the Islanders, they're really no better than the Oilers. Goals for per game is at 2.47. The Oilers are at 2.6. Again, tonight, if you can creep that up, 2.75 by scoring 4 or 5 goals, that would be huge. The Oilers, though, allowing 3.20 goals against average per game. The Islanders is at 3.07. The special teams might as well be the exact same. The Oilers 15.8, 13% on the power play for the Islanders. The Islanders have the second worst power play or penalty kill. We have the worst penalty kill. So it's kind of make of that what you will. The Islanders have a laundry list of injuries. I think Pelech, Riley, Barzal, Duclair, and Romanov are all out right now, so they're a little banged up. Obviously, we got Evander Kane on the LTIR, and that's really all you need to know about tonight's matchup. When it comes to lines and stuff, I guess that's a good question. Maybe I should go find that and see what we can figure out here for the Oilers tonight against the New York Islanders. It's Skinner, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, Henrique, Nugent Hopkins, and Brown, then Janmark, Ryan, Perry. So things remain pretty similar to the last couple of games. And finally, maybe Chris Knobloch figuring out that, end of the day, we just stick with some same lines as Patrick's saying, and just giddy up and let's do this thing for a little bit, right? And I think that's been the nice part to see from the Oilers is They went back to lines that didn't work. They got a victory, and now, you try it a third time, and by the time you've tried it a fifth time, you know if it's going to work long term or not. Not necessarily just quitting after about 3 whistles. So that'll be nice to see if the Oilers can stay consistent on that front. But tonight, I think Stuart Skinner starts again tonight as well. So it's good to see Skinner starting to get things going a little bit. He's at a 4-5-1 record, 325 goals against average, and 883 save percentage. So while not at all near great, the numbers are coming back to reality a little bit for Stu, and they're going to, as long as he finds a way to allow 2 goals or less tonight, he's going to have quite a nice little average going there if he can save about 20 or 25 pucks as well. So yeah, this will be the interesting part. And Fiber, will Skinner end the game off the first line again is a big question. Again, I don't know what Chris Knobloch's deployment of Jeff Skinner has been this year. I think it's just been sporadic. It's been all over the place, and it just hasn't made sense. Again, you sign a top-tier goal scorer to be on your roster, and just like the Oilers of old, as always, just don't give that guy enough time to continually make strides, right? And I think Jeff Skinner, to his credit, has had a decent enough year given how sporadic his line combinations have been throughout the year. But it's tough, obviously, when you know you've got a good goal scorer like that, and then all of a sudden you shuffle him around a million times and you don't have the points that you thought you were going to get for him. But the other side, too, is he's only a $3 million player this year. What are you expecting out of the $3 million player? Connor Brown's a $4 million player this year. So keep that in mind at the same rate, too, right? It's kind of a good question to ask yourself. $3 million player, in my mind, if that $3 million player scores about 35 points in a season, you're pretty happy, right? Like, we were upset Zach Kassian wasn't scoring 35 points in a season. So it's kind of set the watermark where you want. But I think if Jeff Skinner can just kind of say, hey, coach, keep me here for a little bit. Let me cook for a few shifts over the course of a 2-week stretch and see what happens, right? I think Jeff Skinner was one of our lone bright spots, actually. At the start of the year, he had 4 points in 4 games or something like that. So we'll see where this all eventually leads. Maybe, actually, instead of speaking out of turn like I feel like I am, maybe we go take a look at the goal-scoring leaders for the Edmonton Oilers right now and kind of who's leading the charge in terms of the score sheet. As you know, the Oilers have had quite a depth of scoring this year, that's for sure. You've got Leon Draisaitl at 18 points in 15 games. Connor's got 13 and 12. You've got Matthias Ekholm with 9 and 15. That's been a nice storyline this year, and I think everybody knew it was going to happen for Ekholm every single season in Edmonton, and it has continued that way. Bouchard, for all the heat he's taking, he's a top 5 point scorer on this team with 7. You got Hyman with 7 as well. Darnell Nurse up there with 6, which is impressive. Nurse has taken some heat this year, but not too bad. Jeff Skinner's got 6 points in 15 games. Again, you equate that out over the span of 82 games. I'm not going to be too upset at Jeff Skinner scoring 32.8 points this year, right around that 35 mark I was saying. And again, Jeff Skinner, for all his troubles this year, he's only averaging 14.25 on ice. So keep that in mind. Nugent Hopkins, everybody's saying the guy's been invisible this year. He's shot the puck 28 times. He's got a 3.6 shooting percentage. You assume that turns around. Matthias Janmark's up to 6 points. Brett Kulak's got 6 points. Arvidsson's with 5. Brown with 4. Perry with 4. 3 points for Podkolzin, who needs a goal maybe tonight. And then you got Henrique. You got Emberson. You got Ryan in there with 2s and 1s on the board. So tonight, I think you need to see kind of the middle 6 come alive, right? That Podkolzin, Arvidsson, maybe get another point out of Connor Brown, maybe a point out of Adam Henrique, guys like that. If they can turn in some points tonight, that would be an absolute huge plus for the Oilers. And again, like I said, you run up five goals tonight, you run up maybe 6. Life's good. I know I'm asking for a lot against a stingier New York Islanders team, but it really is what it is for the Oilers. If they want to start creeping up towards where they need to be this year, they are going to have to start scoring goals in bunches like we know we're capable of. And ultimately, if they do that, my goodness, it's going to be a lot of fun hockey to watch here as November and December drag on into the new year. So that's where I'm sitting on right now. I think that's a pretty good summary to give you right now. How do I creep back here? Creep back. Just changing over to the Oilers game here. There we go. And watch. Perfect. All right, there we are. Perfect. We're on the Oilers stream. We're good to go. Matt, welcome aboard. And what are we missing here, Patrick? What are we missing? What are we saying about Skinner on the fourth line? Stuart Skinner starts versus the New York Islanders. We knew that. And it looks like RNH, McDavid, Hyman. Oh my goodness, here we go, blundering the lines again. RNH, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, Drysdale, Arvidsson, Janmark, Henrique, Brown, and then Skinner, Ryan, and Perry. I really, really hope Tony Brower's messed this up, simply because we kind of were given lines by the Oilers officially on their Play Alberta lines of the game, and now they've blended things up here ahead of game time with no substitutions in and out, so that doesn't really make sense. Stetcher plays up with Nurse, Kulak, and Emerson together, and Stuart Skinner starts. So that is interesting to see there. So not sure why, not sure what's going on there, but yeah, that is where we are at this evening, friends. The Oilers will blender the lines again and try and change things around ahead of the New York Islanders. I know. Hey, you know what? End of the day, Skinner and Perry, could definitely be a deadly combo. You have Skinner shooting the puck and Perry punching it in. We've seen Corey Perry do that a couple times. Hey, we won't mind that at all. But again, you gotta figure that the Oilers will tentatively be able to score some goals tonight and show up for us in a bigger way. Again, looking for a game out of, either Corey Perry, Connor Brown, Victor Arvidsson, or a guy like Matthias Janmark. Somebody just in the middle of our depth scoring right now to step up, have another 2-point night. We've gotten some contributions of late. Why not get it again tonight and see what we can do with that? That would be absolutely fantastic out of the Oilers if they could this evening. Fingers crossed. No hopes really lost if they don't, but big things could come for the Oilers here tonight. Lekar is making his NHL debut. I know I butchered that, but he's making his debut for the Vancouver Canucks. That one feels like it's been a long time coming. Avery, welcome aboard, and Austin, welcome in. Definitely have a great stream yourself. I know you're streaming this evening as well, so yeah, hopefully everything kind of gets going in terms of separation in the standings and we start working our way up, because it's the troublesome part of the year, right? I mean, you risked it last year by not being in the playoff picture come basically November 24th, and if you do it again this year, I don't know if fortune is going to be as favorable as it possibly was last year to get us all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. So we'll see what the Oilers can manage here, obviously, this evening. With that, and the tone and voice change, give me a sec to grab a drink of water there, and let's carry on here. What else do we got going on? I don't think there's much else to really note yet. It looks like the Seattle Kraken are doing, of course, their military appreciation night. The Oilers, I assume, probably have some content related to that as well. But yeah, it's awesome to see for the Oilers, at least at this point. I know we've kind of had our fits with the Oilers this year, but at least it's starting to level off to some degree, and hopefully over the next little bit here, the Oilers can, as Austin and I are agreeing on, go on a run here and start getting things going. Because if the Oilers can, get up to first place in the division by the end of the month, or first place in the division by the end of the year, that would be absolutely massive. Because then all of a sudden, yeah, we're looking good going into 2025. And for the Oilers, like I said in the Beyond the Edmonton Oilers episode there on the weekend, first place in the division's really not that far out of reach. The Oilers with 7-7-1 record, they sit 6 points back of the Los Angeles Kings, who own the top spot in the division. So you're talking about catching the Kings, who are ahead of you by 2 wins and a couple OT losses. The Oilers put together a 5-6 game win streak, and they're in the top of the division, no problemo. So that's where I think for the Oilers tonight. Again, you win an easy one, hopefully tonight, by just piling up a ton of goals, and you call it a night, right? You call it a victory, you call it good, and you go out there and win a couple more games in a row, and suddenly your fortunes start changing massively over the course of the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. And then you lead into Christmas when we get quieter for the World Juniors and such, and suddenly we could have a really good Christmas time, that's for sure. And obviously, the more winning the Oilers do here over the course of the next few weeks, I guess you could say, the more likely I am to be sitting here live streaming, just simply because it's a little bit easier of a task, I guess, at hand when you're working full time to live stream an Oilers game when you know they're likely going to win as opposed to likely not going to show up. So we'll obviously see how that all rocks out here over the next little bit. But yeah, currently we are 14 minutes away from 7 o'clock. Broadcast will flip over to Gene here momentarily, and then we'll be rocking on our way to a big old game time 7 o'clock here for the Oilers. I know it'll be a 7:07 puck drop or whatever. The Toronto Maple Leafs not having a very good night against the Ottawa Senators. It's been a tough one for them in that regard, down 3 rips, so that's a tough go, that's for sure. And yeah, we just continue to wait and see what happens here tonight. As well, you might notice a little bit of a change. I'm just experimenting here with kind of some new ways of doing some stuff on YouTube. I know they've kind of told me to I can kind of play ads a different way on the live stream, so we're going to see that. Let me know if it interrupts things too much, but we got the scoreboard tonight. We got everything set up in the background. We should be good to go for what should be a pretty straightforward live stream this evening, at least one would figure, as long as the Oilers decide to show up and show out for us this evening. So we'll see what the case is. But yeah, just visit those NHL standings again. Winnipeg looking like they're going to win again tonight from what I last saw. We'll quickly flash forward. Yeah, they're up 3-2 over to the New York Rangers, so I'd assume they're probably going to win tonight. They've been pretty locked down. 15-1-0, they'd go to first team to 30 points in the NHL this year. Very well could be the team that absolutely runs away with the President's Trophy, loses in 5 games in the first round. One would at least assume that's a likely fate, knowing kind of Winnipeg hockey. Again, I don't mean to bash them. It's just kind of how history dictates. Florida Panthers up at 23, and then you got Carolina and New Jersey battling for tops of the division in the Metropolitan. As we go closer to home, Los Angeles, Vegas, Calgary. Again, I'd expect, and as you're seeing with Calgary right now, 3 losses in their last 3 games. Yes, 2 in overtime, so a 2-1-2 record. They're still piling up points, but one would assume they start losing some games here. They played 16 games. By the time they get to that 20-game mark, I think things are going to look a little different rather than third place in the Pacific for them, especially after losing Anthony Mantha the other day, so that's a tough blow for sure. And Roger, welcome aboard. Glad to have you in the live stream here tonight as we get everybody back in for only the second time here in the regular season this year, and funny enough, against a Metro Division opponent for the second time, facing the Carolina Hurricanes earlier this year. It's been a bit of a jaunt to get to live streaming time. I expect to have a lot more time here following this week of work. Like I said, just kind of that itsy bitsy get to the heating season, I guess you could say, as the nights are now below -5 every night. So we're starting to see those furnaces break down. We're starting to see those hot water tanks go, and now all of a sudden we're kind of getting towards those things that break down now are going to be fixed, and we won't have anything else break down until -25, -30 up here in Alberta. And then, January, February, it's game on again for a couple of weeks, and then we laugh it off the rest of the winter. So, yeah, just take your time with me here at this start of the season, and at the same rate, too, after going all the way deep into June. Trust me, the last thing I wanted to do this year was get going back with hockey. I know I've fought it all fall so far. I mean, Patrick's heard me talk about it a million times, how just the motivation to get going this year is just, especially with the way the Oilers started, just not been there. And I think it'll be nice to kind of get back into it now that we're getting past busy season and work, and we're getting into kind of the cooler weather, and really what else is there to do? Ball's over, it's just kind of come home, watch hockey, talk hockey, and do the YouTube, right? So not a bad time. So let's go here and quickly, as we're going through things, take a look. I haven't done that yet on the live stream, and we're closing in on almost game time here, so might as well. We are up over 6.6 hours on the stream, so we should be closing in on 10. No problem by puck drop. Again, friends, for those of you that don't know, I just kind of watch those metrics in the background of the stream, kind of to tell me how things are rolling on your end of things. Kind of keep me in tune, make sure I'm not missing something, or I'm not kind of way too far behind or something. Kind of allows me to make sure I refresh my streams and stuff in the intermissions and stuff like that. So, and it also shows me how much you guys are caring to stick around, which I really appreciate. So let's go here. If you haven't already hit that like button on the stream, I'm going to ask you to do that right now. I know we're up at 10 likes right now. I assume tonight, again, a quieter night, we can probably hit around that 25 mark. Nothing really major tonight. And if you are new to the channel, I know I have made no bones of this yet today. We're kind of hovering just around that mark. I'd like to be securely over it, as Patrick would say. We crossed 17,000 subscribers here on Dolynny TV today. Thank you so much to all of you who kind of made that late push here over the past week. And all of you have been subscribed for a long dang time. But definitely never a bad time to do it. It's free. Keeps you in tune with the live streams, keeps you in tune with the videos, keeps you in tune with everything. There's a ton of Oilers content here and a ton of other stuff that you just don't know is around unless you poke around the old channels. So definitely do that. So it's been a journey back to 17,000 subscribers. Well, to 17,000 subscribers, Patrick, I should say. It's been kind of the earliest goal of the season so far. We've done that. Now, you know, 18, 19, the big 20K, and then away we go with a whole new world after that. So we'll stay tuned and see what that looks like. But Patrick, again, thank you. We'll have to kind of call you probably either post-game or post-stream here and catch up with you a little bit later on. So we continue on. A couple of late line changes as RNH gets bumped up on the first line. Jeff Skinner finds himself on the fourth line, and Janmark on the third line. So tough go there all around, but we'll survive either which way, because as long as the Oilers bring the effort and score goals, we're not going to complain too much. Again, Skinner on the fourth line. Why did we sign a $3 million guy to be playing beside Perry and Ryan? So that's just me. But we are now 8 minutes or so until the broadcast flips over to Gene Principe getting us going for tonight's action. So that'll be fun and dandy. And then, yeah, we are going to go on game time and see what happens here tonight. I don't think there's much else we need to really worry about here at this point. You look at it now. Ottawa Senators lineup versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah, let's see where we're at. Don't think there's anything else we need to worry about at this point. And yeah, yeah, I think we're good at this point. I think everything's caught up. We know the line changes, right? RNH up there, so we're good to go. Relic, welcome aboard, my friend. How's it going tonight, hey? We might have to get things going here a little bit post game as well. I'm trying to figure out my plans post live stream, and everything's kind of coming up aces on that front. So Awake, welcome in as well. We're gonna have a good night of hockey either which way. I'll tell you that, my friends, is I think the Oilers could really show up tonight. I think against the Islanders, especially against a good goalie like Sorokin, right? You think Kevin Lankinen was an absolute beauty up until the game against the Oilers. So I assume tonight for the Oilers, it's going to be a lot of go out there and fire pucks and try to beat the guy. And especially if you crack that damn early, it's going to be a fun night to be an Oilers fan, as it was in that third period against the Vancouver Canucks. That's beauty. Anytime you score 7 on the Canucks, I'm going to love the heck out of that. For those of you that haven't quite figured out what's been going on with me over the course of the past week with my voice and stuff, one might assume I've been going to bed a little bit earlier than normal. So yeah, that's where we're currently sitting at, just trying to rest up and get going back into full shape here. As like I said, busy season at work's run a guy down, but we'll survive. We'll survive and get back to it here, no problem. I know I'm just looking. I've only got 6 videos up through the month of November so far. It's the 12th today. This will be video edition number 7 of the month. So excited to kind of get back crushing it here on the channel, and obviously get back to watching the Oilers games when I get a chance. So yeah, that's where we're at. But obviously we are just about ready to rock and roll for tonight's Oilers game, and then yeah, we'll see where the Oilers can take us this evening. It'll be fun to see what the Oilers are able to manage this evening for us against the New York Islanders. That's really all I have for you left. Is it's just now they got to come out, show up, and show out. And if they can do that, that'll be beautiful. Again tonight, friends, the starting goaltenders, I'll go over that in case I miss it here to begin tonight's broadcast. But yeah, the Oilers starting Stuart Skinner, who again with a 2-goal effort tonight could very well have himself a nice little ring to his scorecard, I guess you could say. He's at a 3.25 goals against average. He allows 2 or less tonight. That moves down below 3.2. Suddenly that becomes a little bit more respectable, and especially if he makes 25 plus saves tonight, he'll bump up that save percentage to above 885, and that'll really start looking good for Stu. The more the merrier for stops for him. And then Ilya Sorokin, again, at 252 goals against average, 916 save percentage. You kind of chop that up a little bit. You know, you bring that down to earth, 910 maybe, in a 259 or above goals against average. That, my friends, would really, really look good for the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll stay tuned and see what happens. But we are closing in on game time now. It's killing me here. This is the hard part I forgot about live streaming but solo is with Matt here in the postseason there. It was a little easier to get through the pregame stuff, chatter about something or whatever, but tonight just solo flying and trying to get this going for you. So we'll see what happens. But obviously the Oilers, they have to do the heavy lifting tonight and beat Ilya Sorokin a couple times in the first period and give us something to cheer about nice and early and often, and hopefully make a guy stick around a little later than usual, as I know that Carolina game I think was a little bit earlier, but I want to try and stick around, up past 8:30 tonight. So see if the Oilers can pull that together for us and get it going. But we got plenty of time to go here yet tonight before we get to puck drop. It's only 6:57, like I'm saying. We got to get rolling into Gene Principe's bits for the evening. And again, the Oilers averaging 3.20 goals against average per game. So tonight, if the Oilers can clamp down, allow 2 goals or less, it's really going to come up aces for them in that front in terms of lowering that goals against average per game. You get that below 2.89 for the Oilers. Anything below 2.9, the Oilers are going to be rolling this season, I'll tell you that much. And you start lifting that power play percentage back up into the 20s, get the penalty kill percentage even into the 75 mark, and suddenly the Oilers start winning 9 out of every 10 games, just like the Jets have been here recently. So we'll see what happens, but that is pretty much your pregame edition tonight, friends. There's not much more to add to this point. It's 6:58. The Oilers just about ready to rock and roll with Gene Principe on the old hosting duties this evening on Sportsnet. So if you're heading on over to, of course, Austin Stream, definitely feel free to do so. Thank you for being aboard here on the pregame edition. Glad to have you aboard this evening. It's been a fun blast to get going on a pregame edition. What have we been live for 27 minutes here so far tonight? So fun to always hang out and get the pregame talk out of the way, and now the heavy lifting of doing the play-by-play and stuff like that. But we are going to have ourselves a good game tonight, hopefully for the Oilers. And then away we go, right? Go win a hockey game. Go improve above 500, right? 8-7-1. And all of a sudden, we're looking really good going into mid-November, as it is now the 12th, and our next game won't be for a little bit. So we're going to see what goes on here for the Oilers as we close in on the month of December and the final frame of the year, which is crazy to say. I really can't believe we are almost to the end of the year, but we are closing in, that much is for sure, as we try to finish up what has been a really electric 2024, and we see what the Oilers can do. Give me a second here. This is the phone call that I expect every single live stream, but all right, friends, there we go. My prediction, let's score 6 goals tonight, eh? That's where we've been kind of aiming the pregame at. Let's beat up Sorokin a little bit in the scoreboard and see what we can do this evening. Thank you for tuning in here. We've just crossed 50 of you live at once, so thank you for being aboard, like I said. And now we flip over the Oilers broadcast, and here comes Gene to bring us into Rogers Place. It feels like a hot minute since I've seen a game at Rogers Place, but it was only October, and I've been at Rogers Place this month. That seems crazy as well. UFC, let me tell you, that's a wild live event, even when the fights in the main card don't fully deliver the punch or the impact they should have. So we have the New York Islanders and the Edmonton Oilers here tonight, 7 p.m. Connor McDavid, of course, back in the lineup. He missed, 2 or 3 games there, not too much. And the beard already going strong for November. Of course, you've got Connor Brown with the mustache powers. He scored a couple of goals this month. It's been nice to see. Brett Kulak's had a very impactful month for the Oilers, now up to 6 points on the calendar and 4 goals, 2 assists. They've got a intro here for Eric Sabrowski from the 2024 MLB playoffs here on Sportsnet. And they're showing off some Sabrowski highlights against the Detroit Tigers. Sabrowski, obviously a local Edmonton kid, so they're showing off some of his highlights against them Detroit Tigers. Those gritty Tigs, like they called him, basically. And it looks like Sabrowski is in the broadcast this evening as Gene Principe welcomes on to the broadcast in full catcher's gear. Eric Sabrowski this year in the MLB, 12.2 innings pitched, 0.00 ERA, rocking a number 62 on that jersey. Oh boy, we knew a guy. 7 goals versus Vancouver, highest offensive output of the season for the Oilers last game out. Of course, it's Gene Principe's pregame. I wish I could claim it, calling that a change-up for the Oilers. And then as well, Connor McDavid with 3 points versus the Canucks, sitting at 995 career points. Only 2 other NHL players have scored 5 or more points to get to that 1,000-point mark in that game they hit it. That being Wayne Gretzky and Adam Oates. And, well, oh my goodness, what do you know about those 2 guys? Former Oilers. So one would assume that Connor McDavid has a very good chance to do it here tonight. Baseball fan, welcome aboard. As Chris Knobloch hired a year ago, 53, 25, and 6 regular season record and a Stanley Cup Finals appearance. You'll love to see it. So here's Eric Sabrowski about to pitch to Gene Principe down the tunnel. He's behind the plate. Ball's outside there. Sabrowski never came fully around the top, and they're trying to claim it was 97 miles an hour. You fool me with the cameras. All right, friends, let's do this. Let's get serious. Let's get going. The Oilers ready to rock and roll this evening for what should be a fun hockey game tonight. Wednesday, tomorrow. Tonight, Tuesday. We'll worry about Wing Wednesday tomorrow as is, and we will take care of business here tonight. I guess Wing Tuesday down at the local beefer. So, all right, let's go here, friends. The Oilers ready to take on the New York Islanders. We will have one last commercial break, and then we will get up and get going. Thanks for being aboard. It's been a little hot minute, I guess, for most of you tuning in. It's been a hot minute since I was last live earlier this season against the Carolina Hurricanes. Quick refresher, you can hear something's not quite right here. Tending to that, obviously having to get some rest. Been out of the weather for a little bit here, and obviously as well for the Oilers. Not such great results over the past little bit, so it's kind of been tough to definitely get into the swing of momentum. That said as well, the season ending in late June didn't exactly play into the cards of me wanting to get back to hockey season as soon as the calendar flipped cold. So kind of fighting that a little bit as well. And then you have to think as well, going up to Edmonton for UFC and kind of missing some other stuff for some other stuff has kind of caused the chaos that is the month of November here on Dolynny TV. So glad you were able to make it by today either which way. And we will see what the Oilers are able to do for us this evening as we get ready to get going. As oh boy, this is big boy tilt in the NHL here. Is there's a lot of fighting going on in that scrap as Gajovich over the top with no clue where to throw those hands, and Brendan Dillon and those guys were throwing. That's an electric fight in 2024. My goodness, takes him down. Jersey and all starter Stuart Skinner tonight for you this evening as we all have the Star Spangled Banner coming out of the tunnel is Robert Clark, and we will get this going here, friends, for the U.S. National Anthem for the New York Islanders, the visiting team this evening. And let's rock and roll. We're into the pregame edition finished up, and we are into the actual broadcast portion. So may I remind you one last time, the old watch time on the channel here tonight as we go up and over 17.75 hours on the stream. So thank you so much for spending those hours with me here to begin the broadcast. Of course, 34, what is that, times... that is basically 34 times the amount of time I've been streaming, so appreciate you hanging out this evening. And let's do this, friends. We are closing in. Again, if you're new to the channel and just tuning in for the first time, you've tuned in for the pregame portion, I would encourage you to consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV today. Again, a thank you to all those of you that have done that over the past few months. hitting 17,000, on our way now, let me say, to 18,000 and chasing down that big old 20 grand. That's a big marker. Somebody once yelled at me about you're nobody on YouTube till you hit 20 grand. Well, we're closing in on something I thought was never possible, so we'll take that. Let's go see as Robert Clark brings home the Star Spangled Banner, switching the graphics over to Canada. Let's do this, friends. The Edmonton Oilers ready to rock and roll for tonight's matchup against the New York Islanders, as we'll see what the Oilers are able to do against Ilya Sorokin and a good Islanders defense. The Islanders allowing 3 point some odd low goals against per game, so they haven't really been giving up too much, but they're a dead even score sheet for them this year in the standings, 6-6-3. The Oilers desperately looking to climb above 500 again at 8-7-1 should they win this evening's game. Man, what I would give to be up in the Sportsnet lounge this evening. Friends, if you ever have a couple of $100 to blow stupidly, go up there, hang out. It's a great old time. Actually, I love the heck out of it. So you're definitely going to have to do that as Robert Clark brings home the Canadian National Anthem. And with that, we'll almost get to the play-by-play portion of tonight's broadcast. I know that's some of you are here for that. Some of you are here just to talk about the game. Either which way, thank you for being aboard as we are closing in on this hockey game finally starting. Oh my goodness, I'm itching here. Absolutely itching. As Oilers welcome aboard. And let's do this, friends. Stuart Skinner gets that screen time up there on the video board at Rogers Place. An absolute beauty of a video board. That thing is massive. And Robert Clark brings home Canada. As let's do this, friends. The Edmonton Oilers ready to rock and roll. Light the Islanders up for 6 goals, hopefully. And away we go with a big margin of victory. That'd be absolutely beautiful if we could pull that off tonight at Rogers Place against the New York Islanders, a team that, knowing for their stingy defense over the course of several decades. Toastical, welcome aboard as we go here to Ilya Sorokin, a 4-3-2 records, 252 goals against average, and a 916 save percentage. He's been the star in Long Island for a long while. And then Stuart Skinner, Mr. Inconsistent, at least to start this year. 4-5-1 record with a 325 goals against average and an 883 save percentage. He does have a shutout, and tonight would be a good night for another one of those, like he did against a struggling Pittsburgh Penguins squad. So here we go. Face off at center ice. Chris Knobloch, Patrick Waugh on the benches here for both clubs. You can figure out who's who and where's where as Connor McDavid digs in at the face-off dot at center ice, as this will be digging in Jean-Gabriel Pageau for the Islanders. And here we go, friends. We're off and underway as the face-off's drawn back to the New York Islanders blue line. D-to-D over to Pollock. Pollock will fire up along the wall. It'll be fired into the Oilers territory. And just as per tradition when I'm live streaming, we've got nice and call to begin tonight's action. Connor McDavid will take the face-off inside the Islanders zone to the right of Ilya Sorokin to begin tonight's action. Nugent Hopkins getting ready to line up in the trigger position off the face-off to try and sneak home a fast one. Instead, again, the Oilers will call the audible and get Zach Hyman over towards the net. The line combinations, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and McDavid as the face-off between Pageau and McDavid down. Nugent Hopkins leaves there for Ekholm over to Bouchard near side point. It'll be off the stick of Anders Lee and flip back into the Oilers territory. Chasing after quickly in front of his own net is Matthias Ekholm. Headman ahead across the blue line of the Islanders, but offside by a footstep is Zach Hyman, and we will have a face-off outside the Islanders blue line. Tough go right there, but hey, you know what, it is what it is to begin the hockey game as the stretch pass almost worked for Ekholm right up through the gut. Jason, welcome aboard, and Bearpaw, welcome aboard. As thank you for being aboard for the ride here tonight. As we will get things going for the Oilers inside their defensive zone. That's a nice draw 1-4. Leon Draisaitl, a turnover high in the zone though for the Oilers causes chaos. The Islanders get their first shot of the game. Just into the glove of Stuart Skinner, and that's Kyle Palmieri robbed on that one. So a nice little save there for the Oilers to get that going. At least I think that's Palmieri. Is that who it is? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? I don't know the New York Islanders hide nor hair here. As Ryan Pollock, Scott Mayfield, of course, the D-man of interest in the latest Dolynny TV trade talk, as Grant Hutton and Dennis Cholowski draw in as the third pair for the New York Islanders, as we will have the face-off. Down inside the Oilers zone again, Nelson, 29 on 29 crimes, winning it back. The shot from the middle of the slot, turned aside by Skinner, I believe, as this one will be the Oilers winning the battle. Here's Draisaitl now busting out 3-on-2. It's delayed, though. Here's Arvidsson back to Draisaitl, trying to find Podkolzin, streaking through the middle. Couldn't do it. Back into the Oilers zone. Brett Kulak hunts down the puck inside his own zone. He'll pivot inside the near corner. In behind Stuart Skinner now. He'll survey the situation. Leave it on for Leon Draisaitl, who will punch it right up through the gut of the zone onto the tape of Arvidsson. Wheel and deal to the blue line. Leave it there as the Oilers cut through the middle and flip in to the New York Islanders zone. Near side corner Islanders end now as this one comes off the end wall. Draisaitl takes advantage, pokes the puck free towards the front, and then Podkolzin jammed it loose from the corner and almost found Draisaitl backside post on Ilya Sorokin. Flipped into the Oilers end now behind Stuart Skinner once more. Minute and a half gone, and we've had a pretty good start to at least tonight's action. As here's now carrying forward, it's Connor Brown into the Islanders zone, dump and chase along the wall. He's able to get there and turn it back into possession for the Oilers. Janmark down low to Brown. Brown swelled up there by the bigger Mayfield, and the Oilers are able to swing it back to the far side point. And a puck hop off the old glass there kind of fooled the Oilers, and a puck skewed into the far side corner. Wallstrom tries to poke it out of the zone. He does. The Oilers, though, good pressure to keep a couple of pucks alive there inside the Islanders' territory. One shot now officially credited on net for the Edmonton Oilers. Puck punched through the middle, turned over there to Corey Perry. Down the right wing, the shot misses wide off the blocker, maybe of Sorokin. And the Oilers touch up across the line. They're offside, and we'll have stoppage in play. So good pace, at least, for the Oilers to start the first 2:16. You've had worse starts this year. And that's a good shot there from Palmieri, zipping it around. And then another nice stick there from Darnell Nurse. As the Oilers have had a couple of good opportunities here, at least to direct things towards the net this start of the game. And you love to see that. Never a bad time when the Oilers come out hungry towards the net. Not that they exactly have the shots on net to show it. But, yeah, let's see what the Oilers can do here. Is coming out of the face-off now. Jeff Skinner comes in for Derek Ryan. Skinner will scramble it up. Oh, clean loss, actually. And the Islanders are able to work it back into their own zone, swing through the neutral zone, tip in into the Oilers' end. Palmieri's second career 30-goal season in 23-24, but somehow, some way, they rule that puck, I don't know, maybe offside against the Islanders, as Troy Stetcher playing up there with Darnell Nurse tonight. And Ilya Sorokin, so far unbeaten on one shot. Same situation for one Stuart Skinner, as both goaltenders at least making the first stop of the hockey game tonight, which is a nice thing to see, at least, as this will be a face-off now inside the Islanders' zone. They've ruled it icing somehow, some way. 3-1-1 in the last 5 games for Patrick Waugh's Islanders, as the Oilers try to stop their hot start here over the past 5 games, coming into Rogers Place. Here's a one-timer Bouchard off the blocker of Ilya Sorokin. He definitely wired up that shot as it comes now near side corner for McDavid, who's your guy to watch tonight, trying to get 5 points to hit 1,000 in his career. McDavid back to the point for Bouchard again. Bouchard walks the line, gets it over to Ekholm, blocked in front, tipped just wide by Zach Hyman, and then Nugent Hopkins sends a man flying to the ice, and the Islanders is able to come up with this puck in the near side corner. McDavid helps it along the boards to Ekholm. Ekholm's beat back to the blue line, and here come the Islanders back the other way. McDavid making life hard on the Islanders' defense, or I guess forecheck, as Nugent Hopkins butts it out of the zone, and this one will just get punched back in by New York, as Connor McDavid only needs 5 points to get to 1,000 tonight. Not a hard task for a guy with his skill and talent level, but you're going to have to start scoring early and often if you want 5 points in a game, as Bouchard walks right in front of Stuart Skinner over to the far side for Ekholm. Ekholm will drift it towards the near side corner inside the Islanders' zone. The Isles able to play it into the near side corner along the boards, as Ryan's able to chip it and charge it a few times there, backing off as the Oilers' defense. And the Islanders will fire across, cleanly across the zone. Pajot just not ready to receive the pass from the slot along the boards, and that allows the Oilers to transition the puck back into possession out of the zone. There's a nice pass from Jeff Skinner, got cut off, and now across the line, the Oilers made the best of it. Here's across now to Emerson. He'll fire the shot. It was on the edge, and he fired it wide, but the Oilers get an attack going here inside the offensive zone. Here's Draisaitl charging right in front for the backhand pass. Couldn't do it. Coming out from behind the corner, and now this one's Anders Lee retaining possession inside the Islanders' zone, It'll be worked back now by the Islanders behind the net over to the far side. The Oilers still forechecking here, making life miserable on the Islanders trying to get out. And now they've got a man beat to the near side corner and rolling around Palmieri around Stetcher. The Oilers able to do a good job digging in on that battle, win it back. And across the line, here's Arvidsson inside the Islanders' territory, off the end of the net, and this is going back off the net again. The Oilers still battling here. They've got it back to Arvidsson, back to the point. Stetcher fires a shot. It somehow got through and waffled off the pads of Ilya Sorokin as here's across the line again. The New York Islanders getting badgered by the Oilers defense. The shot on net. Tisplikov, save made. Stuart Skinner. Whew, this game's had some stuff going for it so far this evening. So Jason, definitely let's go both teams as the Canucks fan. I can feel that. Obviously a good result if the Islanders win and the Canucks are able to keep 2-point pace over the Oilers, but obviously if the Oilers can get things going here tonight, good for the division as things continue to get interesting in the Pacific given how things have started. 14:59 to go here in this first period of play. Noah Dobson fires it down low. Here's Stetcher now going along the end wall. Picked up now by the Islanders, and the Oilers quickly transition out, getting that puck back and trying to fire it to the near side blue line. They're going to work it around a couple of times, and maybe Henrique and Brown connect. Maybe they don't, as they actually don't. Now here's Brown taking the man into the boards, battling it there, back to the blue line. The Oilers steal it away. The shot drifted towards the net, goes off the end wall. Just kind of left there below the dots, and the Islanders will flip up off the glass, knocked down there by Ekholm, who seems to be all over the ice at least to begin tonight's game. The Oilers a -5 goal differential to begin every game so far in the first period, as this will be Brown firing over to Henrique, the one-timer softly on net for Sorokin. He was not fooled, and this will be a play by Pajot down low. 14:03 to go here in the first period of play. Puck back now, finds Pajot at the near side blue line. The Islanders find a seam in the Oilers defense again. A nice cut there by Ekholm, who, like I said, has played a lot of minutes to begin tonight's hockey game. And this one will get now over to Bouchard, down low to Hyman. Hyman off the end wall, and the Oilers see it cut off there by the Islanders. And back across the line it comes for the New York Islanders, off the boots of Anders Lee into the Oilers zone. Bouchard battles him there. Hyman sees it back to the point for the Islanders. Shot in front, knocked down, and the Oilers able to clamp up on it again. Turned over the Islanders, 2-on-0 in front. Couldn't connect the pass to Lee, and here comes Hyman. 4-on-3 for the Oilers back the other way. Hyman's the only one leading the charge along the end wall. He still comes up with the puck, however, and in behind the net it goes over to the near side now. This is Brett Kulak leaving it there for Connor McDavid. McDavid, as the D pairings get shuffled up, McDavid's switching off with Nurse. Kulak's over in the far side corner. Kulak battling along the wall against Lee. He's taken down to a knee, and this one will battle again along the wall. Kulak doesn't realize. McDavid able to steal it in tight. Here's Nugent Hopkins off the side of the net as McDavid swipes back the puck again. Nurse, quick pivot move, spins off an Islanders check, and the Islanders able to lift out of the zone all the way back to Brett Kulak. So there you go. Brett Kulak back with Darnell Nurse for at least a shift here as the Oilers gun up back the other way. Here's Ryan firing it into the far side corner around the boards. Noah Dobson sees it go to Jeff Skinner, back to Corey Perry. Back now for Ty Amberson, who just wired a heck of a one-timer, miss just so sweetly wide. That would have been a goal had it hit the net. Here's Perry with an inside move up over top, and the puck's bouncing around the Islanders zone. The Oilers with 5 shots so far. This is the kind of start you wanted to see from an Edmonton Oilers squad that desperately needs to come out firing against an Islanders squad, knowing not to give up much, with Sorokin in net as Jeff Skinner goes across the blue line, got it out to at least neutral. The Islanders still trying to force the issue and get it into the zone. They'll fire in. 75th career winning goal, game-winning goal for Corey Perry, October 31st against Nashville. That's kind of a weird stat to be showing here in November, but sure. As Stetcher will backhand this one along the boards, battling there. Stetcher comes up with the puck again. It'll be Amberson over to Stetcher. Stetcher pivoting around the defensive zone. Again, leaves it for the much bigger Amberson, who will go up through the middle now, leading the charge for Draisaitl. Over to Podkolzin. Podkolzin with a head of steam down the boards. He had too much steam. Fell down, got stapled there by the bigger Mayfield. and now it's a pile up along the end wall. 11:16 to go in this first period. For as much pace as this first period's had, it has not been zipping along too fast at all. As Podkolzin rips it along the boards, it hit the referee, and it'll be fired down the ice all the way to Stuart Skinner. Takes a couple of hops, and it'll be an icing call against the New York Islanders. So the Oilers definitely starting to get the Islanders back on their heels a bit here. And, well, that's good results. Andrew, Jeff, Manifest, welcome back in. Glad to have everybody aboard once again here as the Oilers obviously starting good. And that missed pass there for Lee in front on the 2-on-0 right in front of Stuart Skinner. That's huge. And then Corey Perry just couldn't lift up over the shoulder of Sorokin. The Oilers immediately back as what a find there from Draisaitl as the Oilers have blended the lines here coming off the icing. Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman as Hyman ends up in the net trying to score a goal. And the Islanders lift out back into neutral for Mr. Matthias Ekholm, who quickly heads that puck through the neutral zone to Draisaitl. They know how to connect with each other quite well. And this will be forced back to the blue line for Bouchard. Bouchard over to McDavid. McDavid spins around, loses the puck, still maintains possession, throws it somewhere, not exactly anywhere useful, and Draisaitl forced to come up with the puck at his own blue line here as he'll dance right in front of the net. Over to Bouchard. Bouchard, nice little feed over to Draisaitl. That was a beautiful play. I stumbled up there as Draisaitl will lead ahead into the zone. Draisaitl still trying to force that pass through. McDavid not ready for it whatsoever. He's just kind of drifting back in disappointment as Pajot takes a hit there from Stetcher. The Oilers make a ping-pong pass through the middle, throw the Islanders offside, and at least for a poor little bit of a play there from the situation that Draisaitl tried to find McDavid and then just kind of failed there a bit as McDavid wasn't ready for it. It's kind of nice to see the Oilers at least get the quick whistle and get off the ice after failing to capitalize with the big boys on the ice. So that's where we find ourselves so far, friends. Thank you so much for being aboard here tonight. Glad to have you along for the ride as obviously the Oilers giving us at least something worth watching tonight. That's been the nice part so far, and I think that's been shown. We're up to 34 hours on the stream, so we're trying to pace towards that 50 marker by the end of tonight's first period or first period intermission, I guess. I don't know where to see it. But if you are new to the channel, I encourage you, number one, to hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. Would love to have you aboard as a subscriber. Just simply gets you the basically the videos and the live streams that much faster, really. That's all it comes down to at this point is you want to be able to tune in faster, you want to be able to get going, you want to get your Oilers news sooner rather than later. Well, that's the way to do it, honestly, and that's what I'm going to pitch on as I try and get a little bit of a movement in here while I'm sitting down, try to get the body moving and get going here for this back half of this, what is it now, first period. So we continue along here tonight, friends, and obviously the Oilers giving us a lot to talk about, at least early on in this hockey game, which is positive. You do want to see the Oilers kind of coming out flying tonight and not necessarily sitting back, and that's been the at least biggest positive so far as the Oilers have been pushing the pace here in this first period of play so far. So in terms of metrics, though, the Oilers still with no hits in tonight's game, even though Stetcher stepped up on a guy. The Islanders with 3 face-offs are dead even, giveaways are pretty much dead even, block shots 4-2 for the New York Islanders, as you know, so that's where we find ourselves. But yeah, we're trying to close in on that 50-hour mark, as that's kind of tradition to try and get the first period done by. So we'll see where we go here tonight as the first period continues along. Just about 10 minutes left here in this first period. Scrambled up face-off. McLean gets it back as it'll be fired now in by the New York Islanders into the Oilers zone. As it'll be now Stetcher going along the boards, firing around the yellow, I guess, on the boards to try and get that puck nowhere. And it'll be Stetcher and Henrique trying to tie up as Wahlstrom comes up with that puck. The Oilers trying to get this out of the zone, and the Islanders still doing a good job keeping it on in. That puck off a skate right in front. At least Janmark was able to corral it, which is a huge thing for the Oilers. That could have been dangerous territory. Here comes Janmark up through the middle of the ice. That puck off a stick. Hands go up in the crowd and glove down a puck, just like Gene Principe unable to glove down that ball earlier on in the pregame. So, friends, as well, if I missed mentioning it for you here on the broadcast so far, if you haven't already left a like on the stream, definitely you're encouraged to do that. Consider doing that here tonight. We're closing in. The goal tonight, just 25, nice and easy, and we're at 19 so far. So we should be able to get towards that here by the end of this evening's action as Cizikas and Ryan draw into the face-off dot. Both fourth line centers on this team, Pierre Engvall, Holmstrom, I believe that's Simon Holmstrom on the fourth line. Engvall, a big guy, kind of a tower of a man towering over top of Derek Ryan, as now Derek Ryan's like, I'm leaving. Corey Perry, you can take this draw. And it's won back by the New York Islanders, flipped into the Oilers' end, far side corner. Brett Kulak's quickly on it, but he lost the handle, and the Islanders able to come up with it rather smoothly. Back to the top of the zone, the shot through traffic. I thought that was in the back of the net. It drifts wide, however, and here's Jeff Skinner able to come up with a puck flip that gets it back down into the corner. Kulak just kind of didn't want to punish the guy from behind, so instead it comes back to the point. Shot fired around the boards in behind. There's Kulak throwing a little bit of a body into Cizikas. As here's Nurse again out there with Kulak as the Oilers kind of tripped up there, as now comes Corey Perry over to Jeff Skinner. Perry back with a penalty delayed against the Islanders. We will have a power play for the Edmonton Oilers, a tripping call against the New York Islanders 200 feet away from their own net. A penalty you never want to take, and Patrick Waugh looks about as impressed as fill in the blank, as we'll head to commercial break and get things going. So that's where we're at. As Glenn, welcome aboard. In terms of how to watch the game, it's Sportsnet Plus is really the only place. You pay about $21 a month for Sportsnet Plus, and really you get all your Oilers games. That's the best I can do for you, honestly. Again, there's not really much for options unless you have, I don't know, just cable and watch on Sportsnet there. I really don't know what the options are nowadays to find it elsewhere. In the States, I think ESPN Plus, and you pay for the premium package, whatever the case might be. But that's really the only way to watch the game for what you're trying to do. So yeah, we continue along here tonight, friends. It's nice to see some names, new and old, coming into the chat here this evening. Of course, everybody kind of returning after what's been a little bit of a situation here this year, not quite taking the streaming near as seriously, but the Oilers are doing their thing so far this evening, getting some work in, and now about to head to the power play. That's really all we got. We're about to head to the power play, and we got to make the most of it. We got to capitalize and start getting this power play headed towards 20%. That is really the end of the month goal, should be to have the power play back in the 20-22% range. If the power play is there, we're going to be winning a lot of games. If we clean up the penalty kill back up to 70%, we're going to be winning a lot of games. Derek Ryan tripped up by a lazy stick of Casey Cizikas. That's a tough penalty to take, and Cizikas knows it. He's a veteran. He knows what it takes to win games with the New York Islanders, and he's a little disturbed he let that happen. So tough go all around. The New York Islanders penalty kill ranked 65.6%. The Oilers power play ranked 15.8%, 24th in the league, 30th in the league for the Islanders penalty kill. Fireworks here for the Oilers, hopefully so. Face off to the right of Sorokin is digging in, is Leon Draisaitl losing the draw and then immediately being told we're going to redo it. Were the Edmonton Oilers, as Pajot had dug in there and won that draw rather quickly, and he's going to be waved out. Holmstrom will come in and take the draw for the New York Islanders. The Islanders jersey's looking not too bad after the Fanatics changes. Here comes Leon Draisaitl winning it back. That one's clean. That one's going to count as Bouchard over to Nugent-Hopkins. Down low, here's McDavid dicing in. Tries to shovel it in short side. Couldn't do it. Looking for .996. As here's now Draisaitl back to the point for Bouchard over to Nugent-Hopkins. Back to Bouchard. McDavid in the one-time position on the dot. Here's McDavid. Got the pass from Draisaitl. And then a lazy pass to the middle there by Connor McDavid. It's cut off by the New York Islanders. Pushed back now by Bouchard from the pass from Stuart Skinner. Leading up now is Draisaitl. He's tripped up there in terms of making the play by the New York Islanders. Cutting across now. McDavid's had the jump on him all tonight. And it's going to be covered up by Sorokin. That was as broken of a jump up the ice by the Oilers as you're going to get. It almost worked out, but not to the effect the Oilers maybe needed it to get McDavid a point here in the first 40 seconds on this power play. Friends, We've just crossed 750 views on the live stream, so thank you again for tuning in tonight. If I haven't thanked you enough, like I said, I've only done this twice this season, so it means the world to me to have some kind of viewage here this evening. As here's Drysdale scrambling up the face-off again. The Islanders ultimately find the loose puck. It's corralled at the blue line by Bouchard. Now over to Nugent Hopkins. Nuge back now. Drysdale near side. He's looking just at the top of the dot. Wheels down to McDavid inside the corner. He'll go to the face-off dot near side. Drysdale trying to make the play, trying to slow play the New York Islanders defense as they're trying to just find a seam here as Drysdale along the wall back to McDavid. McDavid looking. There's Hyman in front. McDavid just couldn't shovel it under the pad there, and that puck's going to get out of the zone as Bouchard couldn't come over quick enough. Nugent Hopkins rescues Bouchard back into the zone. Here comes McDavid across to Drysdale. Drysdale over to McDavid. McDavid back to the Bouchard at the blue line. Here's McDavid near point. Over to Drysdale. Drysdale back. Here's Bouchard wiring the shot. That stung somebody in front. 94.5 mile an hour. Here's McDavid back through to Drysdale near side point. Bouchard again. Bomb on net. Just could not get it past Sorokin, who makes the save. And this will now be out there to play it. Stuart Skinner with 18 seconds left on the power play. As here's now Darnell Nurse mishandling the puck at the blue line. The shot save made by Skinner. Forced to cover up on the save there. And with 9 seconds to go, the Islanders get their third shot shorthanded. Here's 6:56 left in the first period. So McDavid just couldn't quite find the handle to shovel that under the pad there. Sorokin near side, and then Bouchard, an absolute blast. Hits Sorokin in the pad, just kind of took an awkward bounce over to the side of the net, hit an Islander immediately. The Oilers couldn't capitalize anywhere. So here's Stetcher to the far side point, coming across the line, center ice. There's a shot fired in by the Oilers, now near side for Perry. Perry will leave it there for the Oilers' blue line. Stetcher was swallowed up across the line. Skinner's not sure if he's on or off, so he leaves it. And now coming back now for the Islanders, they will get going across the line. There's a pass to the far side. Henrique looks to make the play. He will get it across the line now to Skinner. The shot fired up off a stick over top of the net. 7 shots so far this period for the Oilers. As here's Perry across the line. Perry back to the blue line for Stetcher. Stetcher down low. Here's the one-timer for Henrique. Bobbled on, kind of fanned on it for the second time this game. And here's now Horvat coming across the line. He's going to look over to Anders Lee. Anders Lee down the right wing. Lee looking to make the pass to the middle. Here's Holmstrom or Wallstrom or whatever. I'm not sure. They have some confusing names on this Islanders team. As that's Janmark along the wall. Puck flipped out by the Oilers. 5:52 to go here in this first period to play across the line. Here's Holmstrom again, trying to get down deep into the Oilers zone. Worked over there by Ty Emerson, who just couldn't quite throw the shoulder into him to knock him down. Derek Ryan, who drew the penalty, turns the puck over with help from Emerson as Cizikas gets it back, who took the penalty. Here's the shot by Holmstrom, fired wide as Janmark and the fourth line getting outworked inside their own zone as Emerson comes in, throws the arms up into the underbelly of the Islanders player, so that still won't count as a hit either. And here comes now Connor Brown with the puck free for the Oilers, back the other way. Brown into the wall, turned back there. Ekholm fires it down low, far side point. The Islanders are able to escape the zone by passing in the middle, and this one across the line. Cholowski offside with that play. So interesting so far for the Oilers, just how fast this first period is moving. It looks like we're going to head to commercial break, friends. And yeah, I guess to remind you, I just have to find a little something in the old camera bag, I guess you could say. And then just like that, we are going to head up to Crossfield here one of these days and get going with what will be a broadcasting gig in Crossfield for some hockey at the end of the month. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to you here rather sooner than later. To be honest with you, I don't even remember where my camera is at this point, so that's kind of cause for concern to some degree. That should have me concerned a little bit. We'll have to find that in the intermission, but yeah, we're going to go broadcast some hockey up there in Crossfield end of the month, live here on Dolynny TV, a little bit of a fundraiser. Of course, like I said, I just need to put the finishing touches on things. But yes, the Edmonton Oilers will take a pause November 30th here on the channel, and we'll instead of broadcasting the Avalanche game, we will go broadcast the U15 RMAA Renegades in support of some good causes. We'll have further details on that here when they become available, but I promise you we're going to have a good dang time down there in Crossfield here, coming up live from the Pete Knight Arena in Crossfield. So stay tuned for that. Again, I guess using the live platform is a huge opportunity to talk about that, as I'm looking forward to that, and we'll see what happens here at the end of the month for what should be a very good show down there in Crossfield. They've already planned on building me scaffolding and getting the whole 9 yards going, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast to get back in the rink that early in the season and call some hockey. I believe we've got a special guest coming from Edmonton. I'll leave that up to you to figure out who's coming down and what we'll try and figure out here this year. So yeah, live hockey maybe coming to Dolynny TV sooner rather than later. We'll find out. Face-off inside the Islanders zone, 5:03 here in the first period to go, as the Oilers will take the face-off outside their own zone. 8-4 the shots on goal for the Edmonton Oilers in this first period. They've kind of slowed down despite having a power play here of late. They've slowed down on the pace on net, and the Oilers are going to quickly turn this around for Draisaitl and try and make a liar out of me as Arvidsson back to the blue line. That's going to be stolen away by Brock Nelson and the New York Islanders, wheeling and dealing through the neutral zone. Kind of a sketchy stay on side play as Kulak will staple the man into the boards. Here's Arvidsson along the wall. 4:39 to go in the first period. Back to the blue line now. Here's the shot on net, deflected in front. The Islanders unable to come up with it. The Oilers able to exit not so cleanly. A shot loaded up off of Stuart Skinner. Puck is corralled down by the Oilers. 8 goals in the first period, tied third fewest in the NHL. Finally, somehow, some way, they're only -5 given that stat, as this is across the line for Leon Draisaitl in on net. He'll try and flip up near side corner. Couldn't quite do it on the top cheddar, as this will be now across to the near side for Bouchard. Loads up the shot off the shoulder of Sorokin. They say the puck went out of play, do the Islanders, and we will continue on no matter what, as here's Bouchard. He will fire this one down around the far side boards. This is now Nugent Hopkins. Back shot fired towards the net. Goes up over top of everybody, and it's Connor McDavid coming down with the puck again. McDavid back to the point now for Bouchard. Bouchard over the far side for Ekholm. The shot fired towards the net. Nugent Hopkins sniffing around. Here's the one-timer loaded up. Bouchard passed it off. McDavid rips the shot. Hits Hyman at the side of the net, and it deflects wide. That doesn't happen too often. 3:33 to go here in this first period to play. The shot now coming for the New York Islanders. In on Stuart Skinner. Save made with 3:27 to go. An insane start of a sequence there for the Oilers and Islanders, going back and forth and back on that sequence. And somehow, some way, the puck stays out of the net both sides. We like to see that. So the Oilers trying to get things going here. And this will be Darnell Nurse somehow clubbing that puck away from the front of the net. And then this one, Nugent Hopkins trying to bank it off of Hyman. Just missed on the outside leg, not the inside leg. That's tough. But yeah, the Oilers definitely looking to get the buzzing going towards the net again. Here's the face-off near side. Dodd, it'll come back to the blue line. Perry's able to worm it out of the zone as Perry down the right wing. Feeds to the middle of the Islanders. Just quickly cut that off in the middle. And this will be to the far side boards, as this will work down now for Jeff Skinner. He stole that puck away. Emerson's got the puck. He'll fire it down low to Perry. It misses him. It's over to Ryan. Ryan gets worked off the puck here. Perry tries to keep the play alive. Emerson as well, pinching along the wall. Emerson able to come up with that puck. Feeds it in front. Couldn't buy the bounce in front. And here's now McLean coming back the other way for the Islanders. Flipping it across the line. And it'll be Emerson all the way back, lumbering into his own zone to come up with it. Here's Kulak skating it out. Kulak's been riding hot as of late. He has it turned back by the Islanders. Skinner throws a hit. Interesting go. And Holmstrom is going to rule something's offside or something here, as the referee blew the play dead. Holmstrom doesn't know what's going on, into the Oilers going to the penalty box here for too many men. Is that what the call is? I'm not sure. Can't hear. Don't have the audio on, but looks like the Oilers are going to go for too many men with a 2-minute power play now on the board for the New York Islanders, as Nugent Hopkins out to take the face off. That's tragic, you know. You just kind of get discombobulated there, and you get 6 guys in the neutral zone. Yeah, that's where we're at, as somehow, some way, they're ruling, yep, that the Oilers had too many men. And with 2:41 to go in the first period to play, 2 minutes to go for the power play for the Islanders. We'll see what happens here. Is this a face-off won back by the Islanders? They're going to see Pulock lose the positioning at the blue line. The Oilers penalty kill ranked dead last at 59%. A kill here would be so huge, and changing that number around to some degree is Pulock leading through. 15 seconds already off the board. Nelson getting across the line here. The Islanders get set up now as Nelson flips it over to Pulock. 20 seconds gone in the power play. Here's Brock Nelson. Fires the shot, glove hand save, Stuart Skinner. And kill and penalties starts with Skinner making saves. And 28 seconds in, he makes his first save of the penalty kill, the fifth save of the period. And now all of a sudden, Stuart Skinner makes a save. He's got about a career or about a season average save percentage. So a lot of power play goal in 6 straight games have the Oilers. The buck stops here. That would be nice. As Darnell Nurse out there killing penalties for the Oilers. Face off down. Leon Draisaitl can't quite win that draw, and we will do this again against Brock Nelson. 29 on 29 crimes again. Is this one back, and Kulak will fire off the boards. Softly it goes all the way down to Ilya Sorokin, who will leave it there with $1:25 remaining in the penalty kill. The Oilers definitely doing some good work here in the first 40 seconds. They're going to try and get this going through the first 45. Puck got misplayed by the Islanders. It's all the way back down inside their own zone again. 50 seconds now gone. You shouldn't be this ready to count down seconds on a power play for the opposition, but that is kind of the case here as the Islanders still trying to make the play through the neutral zone that gets them in. The Oilers force them offside again. A minute 05 killed off the clock here. The Islanders lift into the Oilers zone. Again, $1:10 now gone by, and this is starting to turn into maybe something here, maybe bitter disappointment, but the Oilers fire it down the ice again. It hops off of Sorokin. 40 seconds to go in the Islanders power play. This one, oh man, if this comes up clutch for the Oilers, the Islanders not getting much out of the Oilers here in terms of getting through the neutral zone. 30 seconds remaining in the power play. The Islanders are going to have to dig in to get something going here. Emerson fires it along the boards. Some good zone clears here from the Oilers. Have killed off. 20 seconds remaining now on the clock for the power play for the Islanders. This has been good. This is what you want to see. One shot on goal so far. 13 seconds to go. Don't blow it now, boys. As it's into the near side corner, Emerson will clap it down along the board. 6 seconds to go. The Oilers turn over the puck at the blue line. Emerson sends a man flying. That will do it. A kill for the Oilers. And you'll love to see it right there. That's a massive one now. We need the swing of momentum. Here's it to the middle of the ice for Perry, who's fresh out of the box. Perry dancing around. He'll get past one man. Second man swallows him up. McDavid out there to help alongside Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl sees it pushed in behind the net. He's going to go chasing after this puck. Engaging there. Draisaitl got the puck away. This one to the middle. Just couldn't connect with McDavid. Second chance. Third chance. Fourth chance. Draisaitl side of the net. Can't get it free. Sorokin in the pile. Shot fired. Save made. McDavid move in front up over top of Sorokin. I don't know what's going on in front, but the Oilers a third chance. Crack at it. McDavid with .9. And Mayfield takes down Perry. He had his glove off. That'll be a penalty with .9 seconds to go. But the Oilers got some chances on net, and Sorokin just bailing himself out. Save after save. The Oilers. That's a good first period effort. I will tell you that much for sure. As the Oilers thought the puck was covered, they squeaked it out. And here's McDavid again turning it around. And that is awesome to see for the Oilers so far. And Perry was getting wrestled to the ice there. As you don't usually see a fight in front of the net. Mayfield had a glove off, taking Perry to the ice, and the Oilers were shooting gallery on Ilya Sorokin. Interference on Mayfield. The Oilers had pulled the goalie with .9 seconds to go in the period, just simply to get the extra man on. We've seen a lot more of this in the NHL of late. And Draisaitl is going to try and load up Nugent Hopkins, and Draisaitl will be told, hey, you're going to redo this draw one more time. Okay, we're not kicking you out. That's a new rule in the NHL this year. And we will do this draw again. No, McDavid comes in to take it. Actually, Draisaitl was kicked out. Never mind. Thought I understood the rules. I didn't. As here's McDavid trying to win it, and that will run time off the clock, .9. And the Oilers will have a minute 59 to go here in this power play to begin the second period. The Oilers finished the period with 12 shots on goal credited. I'm sure that will change either plus minus 1 or 2. 5 shots for the New York Islanders, 5-2 the hits. 11-7 the faceoffs. Friends, this has been your first period on Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in here tonight. We're up over 940 of you haven't tuned in individually so far this evening. Do appreciate that. As we go here and quickly see, we're up over 47.78 hours on the stream. So thank you again. I know some of you don't care, some of you do care. Thank you for being aboard, Daniel, and everybody else that just tuned in here to talk things over. Fiber Optics back in. Dan, welcome in. I will be right back. Just going to go take some housekeeping notes in the background, and we'll be back to action here for the first intermission. I'm intrigued. Where's this game going? Well, friends, the Jets are officially 15-1-0. The absolute best start in the NHL in history continues to get better for the Winnipeg Jets. You will guarantee you will hear a lot about the Winnipeg Jets here on the channel as the season goes on. It's been pretty good to actually cover them a little bit here this year. Just kind of, hey, you know what? Capitalize on the iron being hot, right? And that's the Winnipeg Jets this year. So we'll see what the case might be as the season goes on. But definitely if you're just tuning in, friends, or you like that first period so far, not lots to love from the Oilers, but yeah, definitely if you enjoyed the first period, definitely leave a like on the stream, and let's do this, crossing into 1,000 view territory here on the stream. So we are officially up and done what has been a good live stream so far tonight. Magic, welcome in, glad to have you aboard as usual. And yeah, it's nice to be back to the live streaming thing. It's just been a hectic year so far, and I'm not fully ready to be doing Oilers coverage yet this year. I think that's a fair assessment of where I'm at. The year went into June this season. I lost a lot of ball time. I lost a lot of friend time. I lost a lot of time to kind of do the things that make me outside of this channel. And yeah, it's just been kind of trying to enjoy that and enjoy everything else. And obviously as well, get back to doing Oilers stuff because it is now middle of November and we kind of have to. Like I said, though, it's no heat season here in Alberta, and we just have to get... get through the next week of stuff breaking down, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll this evening, this year, I guess, for Oilers coverage. So, yeah, we should see what happens tonight, though. That's number one. Number one is the Oilers have to kind of get through a big game here against the New York Islanders. They had a bunch of chances there at the end of the period. They're now credited officially with 13 shots, the Islanders with 6. The hits kind of evened up the faceoffs in favor of New York, which they're a veteran-laden team with faceoff guys, so I don't expect that to change very much tonight. The Oilers so far 0 for 2 on the power play, but they still have a minute 59 left to begin the second period. Block shots 9-4 for the Islanders, so again, they've been blocking them. And the giveaway is 9-6 for the Islanders. So this game is ripe for the taking if the Edmonton Oilers are serious about doing damage tonight. So get out there, get this job done, and we'll be fine and dandy if the Oilers want to show up and show out at some point here this evening. So we continue along on the broadcast, friends. Not much to report home. Stuart Skinner has 6 saves, right? That's where we're at. And then as well, you've got a situation where Casey Cizikas took a penalty. Scott Mayfield took a penalty for interference, and Corey Perry has sat in the box and also drawn a penalty. The fourth line drawing both penalties here tonight. Corey Perry was playing with Draisaitl and McDavid, though, so not sure how you want to count that or square that away. That said as well, for those of you just tuning in here in the intermission frame, today, big milestone marker on Dolynny TV. We hit 17,000 subscribers here. That's something, again, 2-3 years ago you couldn't have told me was going to be possible. I knew there was potential always with YouTube, but I never thought I would ever achieve that given kind of some of the directions in my life. And glad to hit that marker. A huge thank you to those of you past, present, and future that have hit that subscribe button. And yeah, already tonight up over 17,011. So definitely if you did that during the intermission here when I went up and took care of life there, appreciate that as well as we continue on to now 18,000. Hopefully by the end of December, I think is kind of the target, right? See how the World Juniors go, kind of hopefully make good work about that. We got lots of time off work for World Juniors coverage this year, so that's looking good. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to hopefully see things work out pretty well. So hopefully all plays out the way it needs to, and then we go with the flow the rest of the season, and maybe by the end of the playoffs, end up Stanley Cup champions and 20,000 subscribers later. That would be the treat of the century. So we'll see where we're at, but as we go, we'll see what happens. Yeah, obviously the Oilers just need to show up here in this second period and get the job done against the Islanders here tonight. And then we should be good to go for what should be an interesting third period. I don't know. You can kind of hear it in my voice. I don't know if I'm going to have the gusto to go for the third period, but we'll see what happens here. And obviously, if the Oilers keep me intrigued long enough to get things going here tonight into the third period. But in terms of walking through another intermission, that's the hard part, is the intermissions aren't necessarily the kindest for keeping up with voice that's on the mend. as we've got the LRTs rounding into Rogers Place. Obviously, I think I've been pretty impressed with the Oilers so far tonight. That's been the big part of the conversation. Is it's nice to see the Oilers doing what they've done so far in terms of not necessarily losing a hockey game and not necessarily winning a hockey game. It's been nice to see them just stay on the verge of being around and actually getting shots on net at the same time. So, yeah, we've got the Sportsnet panel now. As we've got things going here for the Edmonton Oilers and I believe Wounded Warriors here. As yeah, I'm going to take a quick second to make sure my camera card that I need for that broadcasting gig in Crossfield gets shipped to where I need it to. And we'll take a second here. All right, there we go. We're good to go. Cool. Yeah, obviously, for those of you that missed kind of the announcement there at the 5-minute mark of the first period, there is a special broadcasting gig that I get to be a part of in Crossfield. I guess I've got the actual broadcasting rights. I guess I can say it that way. For a U15A squad game for the RMAA Renegades coming up at the end of the month for Pack the Pete Night Purple night in November 30th. Looking forward to that. You know, if you know anything about me, I've always got the nice sticks and flannel for those kind of occasions, and we just picked a new one up. So definitely invite you back here for another live stream. Hopefully it's not the next live stream, but another live stream end of the month for big night at the Pete Knight Memorial Arena in Crossfield, Alberta, as we try and raise some funds for some very good causes. I'll explain all that in a future video or a future live stream, but yes, looking forward as once we get the camera cables squared away and we can kind of get everything together for what we need for the broadcast, kind of go test it here soon. Looking forward to having that all come together here shortly. So, Budsy. Not what it is. It's I'm just trying to fix a mistake of my own, trying to fix that camera cable issue. I kind of gave away my camera cable without being fully aware of it, I guess you could say. I gave away my camera cable when we were up in Cold Lake broadcasting the high school graduation this past summer. So that was pretty much it. 1 week off and then up to Cold Lake to broadcast grad. It wasn't even 4 days off, I don't think, before we were up in Cold Lake. And then it was obviously as well free agent frenzy and all that. So yeah, it's definitely been a busy calendar here in 2024, and it looks like we are going to repeat that exact same fate here in 2025, as we've got some word on some hockey, maybe, you know, kind of when we regularly have hockey over on Cold Lake Ice TV with yours truly calling action. And oh, by the way, another high school graduation possibly in the works here for the end of the year. And then where else we at? Yeah, we got this broadcasting gig up in Crossfield end of the month. So it's going to be a busy calendar, and I'm glad that, you know what, at this point now, I've kind of got my feet under me with broadcasting stuff in terms of equipment needed to do it, and we're starting to get those gigs. So that's awesome to see. And now we just continue on with hopefully tonight's Oilers game, and we roll on into what should be a productive finish to this hockey game, at least from an Oilers perspective this evening. As far as I know, everything else looks good on the back end of things. Some old Islanders live streams and getting some views. An old Eric Carlson video getting views. The old Visit Cold Lake, Alberta getting views. And Jack Michaels is the new play-by-play voice of the Oilers. That one's always good for a view or two every week. So we're rolling along here tonight, friends. Again, if you are new to the channel, if you're just tuning in, wondering who this crazy guy chattering away is, we'll have play-by-play action of the Oilers here back in a matter of moments. But if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Would love to have you aboard here. As like I said, tonight crossing 17,000, now up to 17,012. So we continue to roll along. Now only 988 away from that next milestone marker. Let me tell you what, that would be nice to hit 18 and possibly have 20 grand in our sights by the end of the year. Wouldn't that be something? But as it currently sits, we continue along and we see that the Milwaukee Bucks are over top of the Toronto Raptors at the end of the third quarter. Connor Brown has a mustache. We already knew that. And yeah, not much positive here as the final for the Ottawa Senators 3-0 over top of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And is there anything really to build around graphics-wise for tonight's post-game? As I think we're doing okay so far for the Oilers on that front. And I don't think there is really anything else. As Winnipeg, like I said, now 15-1 in the middle of November. And I don't think there's anything else we need to be aware of here tonight yet on the broadcast as we're rolling. As yeah, I think we're okay with everything from an Oilers perspective, which is good to see. We just gotta see what happens here from the Oilers' second period situation. Really, they just need to show up and score goals. I don't know how much easier to make it, really. Yeah, that's where we're at, friends. Let's get to it. The commercial break's just about done and over with here on the Sportsnet broadcast, and then we are going to get rolling with what should be a good second period. Obviously, it's already 8 o'clock. Feels like forever these intermissions go sometimes, but hey, it's the nature of the business, and we'll see what happens with it from here. Is 32 Thoughts with Kyle Bukauskas getting obviously some plugs on Sportsnet as they try to really get ramped that up and obviously replace Jeff Merrick with Bukauskas, who's kind of been a star for the Sportsnet team for a long while anyway. As we'll go here, friends, commercial breaks continue. I was expecting these to come to an end sometime soon, but I'm seeing a couple of you peek back in here, so I'm expecting things to pick up for the Oilers here. As the major part of the game ushers us back to tonight's live coverage. You love to see that. And this has been the Oilers getting in on the forecheck duty, I guess, maybe, as yeah, Connor Brown's had a pretty good productive night so far. And you look at kind of the Oilers moving the puck around as well, trying to go along that near side corner to try and cut out in front. I think that's what they're making the point of, is that near side corner inside the Islanders zone has been a productive spot for the Oilers so far tonight. And yeah, they definitely need to get more on the pucks, more on net, and more in the back of the net to begin this second period, starting with a $1:59 power play. They'll show two minutes, or it should on the clock at least. It's got a 0.1 second tick. That's just kind of screwing things up here. Stuart Skinner will dig into the crease. And we'll have a face-off at center ice as the Oilers and Jean-Gabriel Pageau get back underway here. As Pageau wins the face-off, fires down into the Oilers' territory due to the Islanders' defensive squad. Out there killing this penalty, and the Oilers, if they can quick strike to begin this first few minutes of this second period, we could definitely have ourselves a start to the period. This one across to the far side for Nugent-Hopkins. Nuge back to the point now for Bouchard. Bouchard looking on over to Nugent-Hopkins. Far side feed for Draisaitl in front. Tucked there by Hyman, but no goal as it goes into the corner here now. Bouchard over to McDavid. McDavid down the wing. Pass over to Draisaitl. One-timer scores. Put it on the board. It is a point for Mr. Connor McDavid. 1-0 for the Oilers, but bigger to note that Connor McDavid now 4 points away from securing 1,000 points on the career as a slick feed over to Leon Draisaitl. Wastes no time at all as the fans still getting in their seats. And the Oilers quickly worked that puck around as Bouchard went back over to McDavid. McDavid over far side. Draisaitl, as he cannot see his post secured by Sorokin, ends up scoring a goal out of the deal, hitting off the shoulder there, and the Oilers find a way to make it 1-0. Like I said, just a minute into this first few moments of this second period, not even 36 seconds in. A big goal there for Connor McDavid getting that assist on, and Holly England of St. Albert, Alberta, you won some money. You like to see it from Save On Foods. This is the 11th goal of the season for Leon Draisaitl, a power play marker. The Oilers power play now 1 for 2 in the game. McDavid's 10th assist, Bouchard's 5th assist, and McDavid just solidly a few points away now for run it up here in the second period. We can see good things happen along the end while the Islanders are crashing inside the Oilers zone. It feels weird looking at this from this perspective. It's the 300th career power play point for Leon Draisaitl, as this one's going to be Adam Henrique across the line, digging to the middle of the ice. It's going to be turned back. The Islanders gearing up a 2-on-1, but quickly Darnell Nurse turned back. Brock Nelson, the Islanders transition. The shot fired towards the net, blocked in front. It's going to go back the other way. There's a delayed penalty upcoming against the Oilers. Janmark touches up, slaps that puck against the end wall, and now the New York Islanders just quickly out of the gates get their second power play opportunity. And Chris Knobloch scratching his head trying to figure out what Adam Henrique's in the box for. And somebody's got the old spiced Coke going on behind the penalty box there. Nice little cup of something there for sure. So Pollock goes and Henrique goes for holding the stick, I guess, is the penalty there. That's a pretty obvious one. Grabbed on and didn't let go. So Henrique goes to the box, $1:23 into the second period after scoring a power play goal. Do the Oilers have to now penalty kill? Yes, they do. Shots fired out quickly by the Oilers penalty kill squad, and that will be down the ice. And the Islanders will go pick it up with $1:50 remaining in the power play for them. Is this a unique camera angle right out of the corner? A nice coverage angle here from Sportsnet. Actually, a beautiful little bit of video work. 1 for 11 in the last 4 games are the Islanders power play. 1:37 to go in the power play now as they set up for the first true time all power play tonight to start in 2.5 minutes as that shot's blocked. And the Oilers penalty kill 8 for 14, so a better average than that 59%, or right around that 59%, I guess, as they've been kind of hovering that 50% all year. Behind the net now, Anders Lee stripped of the puck. Kulak tidies it up for Nurse, who fires it along the boards. Got it past Horvat, and it'll go down the ice. Minute 07 to go here in this power play as Dobson picks it up for the Islanders. 17:37 remains in the second period, so thankfully this time we're chewing away clock rather quick to begin the hockey game. It's tipped in down into the Oilers zone, but it's an icing call against the Islanders, who just discombobulated here on this penalty play, just the same as the first one to begin the hockey game in that first period. So you see here projected returns. Alexander Romanov day-to-day, Mike Riley November 30th, Adam Pelech December 15th, Anthony Duclair later than that, same with Matthew Barzal. This is the time to strike for an undermanned Islanders squad. It's time to strike for the Oilers, now up 1-0, 14 shots into the hockey game, 45 seconds to go here in the power play. This one along the wall to Spolikov, trying to get it past the Oilers defense. He's struggling there. Ekholm's battling as well as Paul Mary tries to come get it free, and instead Connor Brown out there with Vasily Podkolzin will get it out, and Podkolzin killing some penalties here for the Oilers with Janmark in the box. Nice play by Brown to get it down low into the zone. He's going to lazily go off, but 4-man back for the Oilers. Turned back there by a stick of the Oilers. Janmark, sorry, I thought Janmark was in the back box. Henrique, sorry, that Podkolzin was replaced. And 8 seconds to go in the power play. That will do it for the Islanders. They're barely getting out of their own zone. Palmieri, unless he can wire it across the blue line, he doesn't. That is 2 kills tonight, if you can believe it, for the Edmonton Oilers. 16:32 to go here as this one's now Kulak along the near side. He will get it over now to Henrique across the blue line for Arvidsson. Arvidsson in the middle of the ice, says Kulak. Clubbed up on it, could add his 5th goal of the season right like that. The Oilers quickly swallow onto the puck here in the neutral zone, fire it back into the Islanders' end. A quick play there got out of danger for New York as they'll try and transition through the neutral across the line. Here they come. The shot fired, turned to the side of the net. A rebound off the twine on the outside, thankfully. And here comes now Connor McDavid right after scoring that 996th point. Tried to feed it over to Hyman. Hyman unable to get that to the back of the net. This one comes out in front. Cizikas for the Islanders will lift out, knocked down by Bouchard. A terrible play there. Over to McDavid from Draisaitl. McDavid now gearing up in the zone. He'll go back to Bouchard. Nice little keep there at the blue line. Swims it down low to Ekholm. Ekholm will go into the corner. Feeds it along to Draisaitl. Draisaitl now loads up right in front. The pass maybe looking backdoor for McDavid off screen. And here comes Noah Dobson firing that puck towards the net off the pads and out of play of Stuart Skinner with 15:20 to go in this second period. Short change for the New York Islanders in the offensive zone. So you're loving to see what the Oilers have done so far in this second period, scoring a big goal and obviously getting in gear here early and often, killing that penalty as well. And man, Brett Kulak actually had his stick disrupted. I thought he flipped up on it, but a good stick there. The Islanders getting back 3 points, +3 rating for Kulak in his last 2 games. He's been incredible. And to start this year, at least scoring defensive points. There's the shot save made by Skinner to start that face-off. The Islanders just scrambled it up and got a shot on net. And now it'll come on down inside the Islanders zone. That's a collision heavily along the end wall. They're going to rule it incidental with Connor Brown. No penalty upcoming. Played in the middle. Henry can't jam home the backhand. Turnover at the blue line. Not upcoming for the Islanders. A good play back there. Into play by, I believe, Janmark. And Stuart Skinner makes the save on a just choppy little backhand there from New York. And we'll have a face-off with 14:50 to go in this second period. The Oilers still getting opportunities, and that was just a couple of players tangled up along the end wall, and I think Hutton got taken out in that one there, and then Henrique almost the victor in the situation, backhanding towards the net. Henrique's been fighting it here tonight, unable to cash a couple of chances on the one-timer, and that one eluded him on the backhand as well. 14:50 to go in the second period. 1 assist Saturday versus Vancouver. First point in 11 games for Adam Henrique, who, like I said, not quite delivering on his $3 million contract this year so far. As this is going to be off the end wall. The Islanders control. They're going to try and turn this one back. Palmieri shoots the puck towards the net. Goes off the boots of Draisaitl to play. And started the season 0-3 and I don't think that makes sense. 0-3-3. That doesn't make sense. They took that graphic down pretty quick. But the Oilers desperately need to get a result here tonight against New York. 1-0 the score. 14:36 to go. The Oilers lead. Face off to the left of Stuart Skinner. Thanks if you're just tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. As Emerson goes along the end wall, this will be Kulak batting it there high. Nelson fires a shot towards the middle. He decided to lift up on that a little bit, and the Oilers were able to steal it back the other way. As there's Jeff Skinner getting it down low into the Islanders zone. Palmieri to the middle of the ice. This is going to be back the other way across the line. The shot loading. Save made. Skinner as it's behind him. Underneath him. Save made. The whistle blown as Skinner knew he didn't have control of that puck and then quickly flopped to get the body down on it, and diving into the crease there was Tisplikov. And the Oilers definitely get a break there as Skinner did not know where that puck was and had to roll on top of it after losing it. And Skinner looks like he might be a little worse for wear there with that, as well, as that was a little bit of a... Skinner had no clue. He had control of it and then just had to dive to the backside to get on top of it as he thought it was behind him. And that's a little shakiness you don't want to see, as that one was right underneath the pads. He didn't have a feel for it and ended up taking a little bit of batting around for it. He feels good. Juice is loose, and he's going to be good to go here. 14:10 to go here in the second period. As this is down low, back into the middle of the ice. The Oilers will come up with it here. Here's McDavid, 3-on-2 back the other way. McDavid right in on net. McDavid around the side, hits the post. Thought he had capitalized on the top bar. Couldn't quite do it. Near side boards. The Islanders see Ekholm come rushing in. McDavid's going to find the puck. He fired it towards the middle. Flipped on it though, and the Islanders is able to get it going back into Oilers territory. Out to play it is Stuart Skinner. Nice little play along the boards here. 13:40 to go. Puck over now to Bouchard. Back now to Ekholm. Ekholm's going to fire along the near side boards. Nugent Hopkins across to the far side. Hyman drags that puck to the forehand. Shot fired, blocked in front. 13:27 now to go in the second period. Pass through the middle of the ice. Cut off there by the Oilers. Here's now the Oilers coming back the other way. Hyman trying to get this one going down low. He's going to try and turn and burn, and that will do it. But the Oilers burning along the boards there, as well as Nugent Hopkins trying to get this puck free as the Oilers continued the attack, but ultimately the Islanders is able to move it out to the far side. Shot fired towards the net. Skinner another save, now up to 11 on the game, and they'll transition back the other way after picking up the puck. The Oilers across the line. Here's Stetcher. Boot kick into the near side corner. He'll go along the inside wall. And this will now be Arvidsson taking a cross-check into the back and being knocked down, still playing the puck. And the Oilers suddenly really trying to get this puck free. They're digging in, winning battles here. And here's Draisaitl winning to behind the net, trying to get it in front for Podkolzin. Couldn't do it. I need a drink of water here. Voice is burning out. As this will be the Islanders quickly transitioning to center. A man falls down. Don't penalize the Oilers for that. Thankfully didn't. 12:23 to go here in the second period. Emerson across the line to Arvidsson. Arvidsson looking to the middle of the ice for a man in Draisaitl, dragging in the middle, couldn't do it. And now a play there by Podkolzin, freed the puck up for the Oilers. Draisaitl again takes control at center ice. He'll work back into the Oilers zone. Kulak, like I said, he's been riding hot. You expect him to almost do something tonight the way he's going the last two games. And this will be flipped in now by Connor Brown around the defense of the Islanders. Digging in down low, winning a battle. Here's now Janmark over to Ekholm. Bouchard down low, tipped there by Henrique. Henrique separates stick from man, and Janmark's able to win a battle and get it going. As Janmark's, hey, you know what? You want to win a battle again, period. That's going to help your team win. As here's Bouchard at the blue line. Over to Ekholm, the one-timer right in front. Henrique to the open man in front as Connor Brown on the backhand side, unable to win that. But here's now the Oilers continuing the attack here. Bouchard fires in front. Henrique far side. Coming up with that puck back to Bouchard. Bouchard over now near side for Janmark. Third line's cooking. Back to the point. Ekholm with the shot. And it is blocked in front as we immediately go to commercial break. Not entirely sure what happened there. Welcome to Sportsnet Plus. As that was a quick commercial break, quick cut there. I'm not fully sure what happened. We were in the midst of action and then cut to commercial. I'm going to be confused by that all night. As that was a quick cut, and dived on the puck and away he went. Sorokin either way with the save, and the Oilers now buzzing up to 18 shots in the period. 18-11 the shots on goal for the Oilers now. 7-4 the hits. It's been a lackluster physical game so far, but Leon Draisaitl from Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard the assists on those. First goal of the game for the Oilers, and what's been a good period so far, at least in this third period for the Edmonton Oilers here tonight. So we're liking what we're seeing in this second period. And where are we at right now? We are cooking along 70.88 hours on the stream. So again, thank you friends for tuning in and staying tuned in. Over 3-minute average view duration here on the stream tonight. So thank you very much for sticking around and staying tuned. And of course, if you are new to the channel tonight, I'm hitting this rather hard again. Just hit 17,000 subscribers today, and hungry for more, I guess you could say. Never a bad time to add more to the old channel as we look forward to growing this thing we got going on here on Dolynny TV, up over 20,000 the goal for this year, and obviously hitting 10,000 last year, and now, or 2 years ago, whatever it was. And now just kind of middling through 12 to 16 last year, and now trying to hit that last 4,000 going into this year to hit 20. So thank you for being aboard again. I encourage you to hit that subscribe button if you want to. If you don't want to, all good. Let's do this, friends. Let's get this going. Connor McDavid out there on the face-off now for the Oilers, following that cover by the New York Islanders, Ilya Sorokin. Quick cut to commercial, and here we go. And Zach Hyman ready to rock. We're taking our last moments, our last breaths before we dig in for this face-off. McDavid against Nelson. Face-off down. Nugent-Hopkins comes in to help. Instead, it's Hyman pushing against Mayfield to the far side boards. Here's Nugent-Hopkins. Nuge will battle along the wall. It'll be turned back by New York into the Oilers zone. Hustling after it is Bouchard. Bouchard goes into the corner. He's rammed there by Tisplikov. Puck comes off the stick of Stuart Skinner, who looked very unconcerned about that puck in his crease. And 5.5 minutes of penalties per game. That's the fewest in the NHL for the Islanders. The Oilers will need to get 5-on-5 help here tonight if they want to get going in tonight's action. Is this going to now be Nugent-Hopkins spinning around? Nuge over to Mr. Matthias Ekholm. Ekholm fired that shot. I didn't know where that puck went. It was batting around in the middle of the ice off a stick. As here's now Bouchard. 10:23 to go in this second period to play. Bouchard looking to make this puck come near side. Bouchard will load to the far side boards for Ryan. Ryan down low into the corner. In behind the net now. This is going to be again Mayfield with that puck. He'll get it over to Pollock. Nice play there by the Oilers to come up with that puck. Jeff Skinner stole it away. Skinner fires the shot, save made by Sorokin, and that's the one thing that the Oilers just don't have that other teams seem to this year, is just that fire a puck on net and it goes in. As here's now Stetcher firing a shot up over top of the net. Out of play. 9:50 to go, and Hyman's wincing in pain on the bench as he ended up taking something from Mayfield, kind of maybe a stick in the midsection or something on the arm, kind of tangled up there, and it's tough go, but Hyman will walk it off, I'm sure, on the bench and be good to go. As we go immediately back to commercial break, friends, and we continue along here this evening on the stream in what has been a pretty busy day on the old Dolynny TV turnstiles. I'll tell you that much. It's been a day of a lot of views. Obviously, still talking about that Scott Mayfield trade from earlier on the weekend. So thank you to all of you that tuned into that one. That's been a big video for me. A little bit bigger than I expected. I expected good, but I didn't expect that good. And yeah, we're rolling along in what's been a busy day, like I'm saying. And of course, we got 2 community tab posts up, and we've had a busy day all around from Gillis TV as well, who's had a couple of videos up. Actually, 3 of them, in fact, and looking good on doing it today as well. So that's good news. We'll take that. As awesome to see Austin Hockey as well, crushing the live streams as well. That's been one thing with me taking time down to kind of stay up to date with work. It's been good to see someone take over that space, and obviously up there streaming away tonight. And no, it's been good to see everything kind of falling into place this afternoon as things continue to round into form here on the hockey coverage for the year 2024-2025. So see where we go from here, but obviously the Oilers doing what they're doing so far tonight, and yeah, see what happens. But CS, when it comes to Nugent Hopkins stepping up and scoring a couple, 1 goal this season is unacceptable, right? He's at 28 shots. He's shooting 3.6%. You expect at some point those shots are gonna start going in for Mr. Nugent Hopkins, and I think the Oilers just need to realize, yes, the Draisaitl one-timer on the power play and the Bouchard one-timer on the power play are beautiful things to have, but you got to start getting other guys involved, getting other guys looks as well, and the sooner that happens, the sooner the Oilers will start having some power play success. Right in front here, Jeff Skinner almost got fed a puck right in front to shoot in the prime slot area, but couldn't do it. 9:35 to go here in this second period of play. Stetcher hustling against Engvall. Engvall's just got the legs to get there, and here's now Nurse along the end wall trying to get it past Engvall. Couldn't do it. 9:23 to go here in this second period of play. Up off the wall, Perry will get this puck free. Ryan punches it out, and here's now the pass over to Dobson. There's an offside player at the Islanders bench, and Islanders were forced to turn back and get it into possession inside their own zone. We go inside now, 9 minutes to play in this second period of play across the line. The Islanders force it out from behind the net back to the blue line. First looking opportunity here in a little bit for the Islanders. That one fought off there by Stetcher. Back to the point, turned back by the Islanders again. This one's going to be fed down low. Here's the captain, Anders Lee. Back to the blue line for Mayfield over to the far side. One-timer blocked in front. And this will now be Lee again with the puck near side corner inside the Oilers zone. Horvat. Just feels like the Islanders have really not had much control of this game at all tonight. And this is going to be turned back inside the Oilers zone again. Lee's going to battle there against Nurse. Nurse is rode out along the wall. Stetcher to the far side. The Oilers are going to get going with speed. Here's now Nugent Hopkins. Sorry, that's Podkolzin with Draisaitl. Draisaitl behind the net. Wins the battle. Gets it back to the point. Ekholm over to Bouchard. Now back over for Arvidsson. Podkolzin was taken down in front of the net for some reason in a battle. And Zach Hyman is showing some battle in tonight, that's for sure. As he's been in the chase all night, and he's been fighting it a little bit here, shaking off something wrong with his hand today as he continues to just shake it around, and something's not quite right with that right hand of Mr. Zach Hyman. He's back on the ice, 9:15 time on ice, halfway through the game, so he's looking like he might not quite finish out 20 minutes tonight, which is, I don't know, unusual for Zach Hyman. I feel like he's a 20-minute-a-night guy, but also plays on the power play, so that might make up for it. Only 2 power plays into this game for the Oilers. 8:08 to go in this second period. McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl out there, or Hyman out there on this face-off, as this will be along the wall. Hyman, the shot off the corner, fires it up over top of the net, no to play. Wow, that was a quick-looking shot. Hyman found what he was doing and ripped it quick as he continues to take that glove off that hand and work it a little bit. But good to see Zach Hyman no worse for wear shooting that puck there. And friends, we've hit 26 likes on the stream, so cheers to that. glad to see we're at that marker tonight, and we're closing in on 1,500 views on tonight's live stream. So a bigger stream this evening. Glad to have that as well, as we are 8 minutes away from shutting things down here after the second period of play. Face off now between Nugent Hopkins and somebody, I think Kyle Palmieri. Here's Ekholm rushing along the boards. Ekholm around, wraparound, chance. Finally, the Oilers get one on net, it feels like, but it's denied by the pads of Sorokin. And here's now Bouchard in behind his own net off the rebound, all the way chased it. Bouchard now going to lead things out to McDavid. McDavid dances around Tisplikov, and now around another man, Nelson down low into the zone. And the Oilers are going to go chasing along the end wall, try to win a battle. Ekholm instead back to the blue line. This one's back to the blue line at the Islanders' side again. Hyman wins the battle, dips around Tisplikov. Hyman towards the net was cut off there. And then the Islanders are able to get it going back the other way. This one to the far side, picked up by Bouchard. Bouchard picks it up for McDavid. It's turned back. And the Islanders are 1-5-3 in the last 9 games in Edmonton. Wow, that's wild. And Jeff, thanks for the thumbs up. Hey now, welcome back in. Yeah, it's nice to be back streaming again. Only second time this year again. Like I said, no heat season. Under the weather here a little bit over the past few weeks. And obviously as well for the Oilers, it's just been kind of painful to watch at times as well this season to start. So trying to avoid the negativity as much as possible here. Stay positive on the season, as I've brought enough. Here's Emerson. Shot fired, blocked in front by the Oilers. Shot again fired, and this one goes to the far side boards as Kulak winds it down. Janmark off the end wall. This is going to be picked up by Henrique. Henrique tries to fire it past McLean. McLean's battling there against Brown. Fished out and throw him back to the blue line, but past Brett Kulak, as it'll come back now behind the net for Kulak. He got it from Skinner. Kulak across the zone into the Islanders' end. He'll drift off the end wall. The on-waiting Draisaitl. The Oilers really tactical here in this late second period with their puck movement, just kind of keeping the Islanders hemmed in the defensive zone. The Oilers owed almost 4 minutes more in the offensive zone than the Islanders so far tonight. It feels like the Islanders have never played in the Oilers' end, and that is why. Almost double the time at this point. Shot fired across the blue line was blocked. Holmstrom gets it back. Here's Engvall into the Oilers' zone. Engvall turns and starts chewing up clock. It'll be tipped out by Draisaitl, who's going to try and out-muscle Engvall for position. That was not going to be possible with the bigger man, and this now turned around back the other way by the Islanders into the Oilers' zone. Tipped off a stick again, and all of a sudden this game's just grinding out to nothing. 1-0 the score here, as it's going to be across the line. Shot fired in, and it's going to now be Podkolzin along the end wall. That's a big hit along the wall finally from the Oilers. A little bit of life maybe, and this one's just getting sleepy here inside the late stages of the second period. Bouchard miscues the puck off the end of his stick, and this is going to go down in behind the goal line in the Oilers zone. Bouchard picks it up again. Here's now Podkolzin. Puck escapes him, and this is all of a sudden right back where the Oilers don't need to be. Choppy, sloppy hockey, and they need to get something going in a positive direction here and get some zone time again here, as this one hops off a stick across the line now. Podkolzin tips it back now in possession. Ekholm's going to rip the shot through, tipped in front or not, as Sorokin was able to come up with that puck. But, any fisticuffs thrown tonight? No, it's been a sleepy physical affair. I know Mayfield tried to get Perry going. Instead, Perry chose to draw the penalty for Mayfield taking his glove off. But it's been a very quiet affair between the Islanders and the Oilers thus far. So, looking for things to gear up here as this game goes on. The Oilers need to get something going here. So, the panic not necessarily fully on, but you get where I'm going. Let's go here. Checking in again. We're closing in on that 100-hour mark. We're almost 85 hours on the stream. So again, thank you, friends. Like, you've been watching this the same as I have. It's been just painful here over the past 5 minutes, just watching the Oilers and Islanders really solve nothing. But the Oilers now over 22 shots in the game. Stuart Skinner with 12 saves. So even if Skinner allows a shot on goal to go in, he's going to have an above 900 save percentage, at least for the time being. That's a positive there. And we just have to keep taking as many positives as we can get the rest of the way here in this game and hopefully end it with a victory. That's all that matters. We are inside the last 25 minutes of the hockey game. That's decent. We are almost done and up and finished, and then we can walk home a game. But for yours truly, it'll be the end of the game, or the end of the stream at the end of the second period. There's just gotta obviously still eat, and then gotta get ready to kind of take care of business for the post game and get back to work tomorrow morning and answer the phones and answer the calls and get out there and get some no heats dealt with the rest of the way home. So Stuart Skinner in net there. Zach Hyman continues to get worked over by TD4s on the bench there. Ty Emerson having a great old time on the bench there with the Oilers, and we're going to see what happens here. 200th career assist Saturday against the Canucks. Crazy to think Zach Hyman scored 54 goals in a season before getting 200 career assists, but he did, as this one's now to the near side corner of the Islanders, able to chip out off the wall. Tisplikov gets it past, and this will be Bouchard touching up that puck with 4:28 to go in this second period. Nice and call against the New York Islanders. So we're continuing to close in on the end of the second period, but it's taken its sweet dang time getting there, and Zach Hyman's got to score us a goal here at some point, one would figure, here tonight. He's been all around the net as well, so hopefully something going. Here's McDavid drawing in the dot, wins it back to Ekholm. Ekholm down the left wing. He's in on net. He dives to the backhand. Couldn't draw it past Sorokin on the far side pad. Here come the Islanders across the line. The shot fired in behind the net. Never ended up getting there. It was blocked by traffic. Ekholm ducks around the guy. Bouchard to the far side boards. Bounced it off the boards behind Hyman. Nelson finds a man. Tisplikov to the middle. The one-timer. The Islanders score. Just like that, the Oilers opened up in the middle of the ice. And that is going to tie up the game 1-1. Kyle Palmieri scores the goal. 4:02 to go in this second period. That was little. You could see the warning signs all over that one. The Oilers overplayed a puck in the neutral zone. Ekholm got committed, then Bouchard, and nobody carried the trailer back in Palmieri where the one-timer was coming from. And ultimately it ends up in the back of the net. Good on Tisplikov to know he could pass that back for Palmieri. And you know, he got the side-to-side advantage on Stuart Skinner most nights, and the Islanders even the game 13 shots in with a goal. So Palmieri's 7th of the season. He's on pace for 30 this year, and the Oilers will draw in at center ice. But again, I don't know even if that's on the Oilers for playing some bad defense. That's on the Oilers for really just overall playing some terrible hockey over the past 5 minutes, and ultimately leads. You deflate the bench and you lead to end up giving up a goal, and the Oilers came out of the gates in this second period hot and just never really took advantage of it. 3:50 to go here in this second period. The Oilers will turn the puck back the other way. Draisaitl's lumbered down the ice and is able to get it across the blue line, but I believe they were offside, so they turned back and decided to allow the Islanders possession as it comes down low to Stuart Skinner. Skinner will play it on the forehand over to Nurse. Turns around, picks this puck up, gets it through middle, and here's now Draisaitl as this comes back to the blue line. Kulak plays it down along the wall. Holmstrom turns it over to Podkolzin. Podkolzin turns it back over to Holmstrom. And we will go back the other way now for 3:14 to go in this second period of play. Here's Stetcher along the wall, trying to battle that one free. Here's now to the point. Hutton's going to blast the shot wide of the net off the blocker of Stuart Skinner. This one in behind now. Nurse will battle along the wall to the far side. Puck went up and out of play off the netting with 2:57 to go in this second period of play. So would have loved to see it, but yeah, no, the Oilers desperately need to get back in gear here. As hey now with McDavid having a point already tonight, a 4-point third period and finish to the second period would do that, but I'm doubting that McDavid's going to be able to solve Sorokin with points 4 times the rest of the way home. This has been a well goaltended game. I mean, even Stuart Skinner's back up to another save here, so one shot again goes in again. 14 shots. Here's now 15 as Stuart Skinner swallows up another shot there. So now 15 shots on Skinner, 1 goal against. So Skinner continues to have an impressive night here in net. And it was Kyle Palmieri from Tisplikov and Brock Nelson usual suspects for the New York Islanders, it feels like at this point, getting on the board. And Gaming Cheeros, yeah, you cursed it a little bit there talking about the shutout. We try not to do that. But yeah, Skinner was looking good through, well, almost 2 periods of play. Now the game even at 1, and the Oilers have to dig in against Ilya Sorokin of all goalies. Here going into this third period, Skinner back in net after chasing puck in behind. Anders Lee tries to play it over to Horvat. Horvat, who's had a rather quiet night, plays it back to the point, and he misses the pass. 2:28 to go in the second period to play. The Oilers out shooting the Islanders 22-15 in a 1-1 game. Far side pass eludes the Islanders, who have really struggled with connecting perfectly on the tape tonight here in Edmonton. I'm not sure if the ice is just weird in Edmonton tonight or something, but here's Kulak playing it off the boards out to center ice. It ends up in the Islanders zone. Dobson with the puck. He's also been not really noticeable tonight despite his high offensive outputs regularly in the NHL. Here's behind the net. Palmieri trying to force it in front. Cut off there by Stetcher, who quietly has had a decent night. The Islanders are guilty of a high stick inside the Oilers zone. $1:51 to go in the second period. Palmieri's pleading his case. Not going to get it. So, yeah, that's where it's at. $1:51 to go in this second period in a tied hockey game. If the Oilers can come out and score a couple quickly in the third period, we'll be good. But we'd like to bury the Islanders a little bit here to begin this hockey game's final stages of the second period. That would be good. So we're going to have a face-off. Scrambled back now. Stetcher over now near side Nurse. Nurse will fire it in across the line. Sorokin behind the net out to play it. As this will go to the middle of the ice. It'll come back inside the Oilers zone, and we continue to just wind down clock here in the second period. The period that's taken forever to finish up. $1:37 to go in the second period. Jeff Skinner skates to the bench, and the Oilers will change things up once more as Skinner has had one good look tonight, I think, by the metrics, but he wasn't able to pull the trigger as the puck just kind of skipped past him in the slot. As here's Hyman, the big boys, on the ice now for the Oilers. $1:37 to go in the second period as McDavid, Drysdale, Hyman take the final shift, possibly of the hockey game's second period here at Rogers Place this evening. McDavid helps win the draw back to Ekholm. Ekholm fires it back down to McDavid rather quickly. A nice little board bounce got it there as Tisplikov comes up with a puck that was free, and the Islanders will turn it over to Drysdale. He couldn't get the bounce, and this will be turned over now in the middle to McDavid. He couldn't get it to bounce onto his stick, so this one continues to hop around. Ekholm can't get the bounce off Nelson, and the Oilers just can't buy it inside their own zone either, as Mayfield will fire it down into the near side boards. As Mayfield back to the point here, he'll fire the shot tipped on front to Stuart Skinner, who gets it through traffic with $1:02 to go in this second period of play. So the Oilers continuing to try and just survive here in this hockey game. They've looked dangerous at times, but haven't been able to can their chances, and that's a good look. It didn't get tipped ultimately, but looked like traffic was coming in front of Skinner, who's now up to, well, 15 saves tonight. Cizikas will draw in for the face-off dot. Draisaitl takes the draw against Cizikas. Ultimately won. Ekholm bangs it off boards, turns it over at the point. That's a lazy play by Hyman. Shot goes off a Skinner up and out of play. And we will redo this face-off again inside the Oilers zone with 55.8 seconds to go. Ay. Brutal. This truly, I'm telling you, is the period that won't end. After we turn to the 10-minute mark of this period, it is grinded down. We went back live to the hockey game at 8:03, and we've been grinding now for 37 minutes to try and get through this period. Almost double the actual length, which is crazy to think. 55.8 seconds to go. Face off one back by the Oilers. Here's Nurse. He's trying to get over the corner with two Islanders around him. Here's Kulak now over to Nuge and Hopkins. Nuge over to Nurse, leading the charge through the neutral zone. Nurse will fire a shot. Here's Nuge. Shot fired, save made by Sorokin. Another shot on net though for Nuge. A good looking opportunity. Shot from the outside boards, tipped in front. Holmstrom's able to backhand it out of danger and down the boards and into the Oilers zone. As this will be Engvall, and we'll have a battle engage in the near side corner. 25 seconds to go. The Oilers look content to run out the clock here in this period as Nurse will help the puck along to Ryan. Ryan will bounce it along the boards. Dobson has it stripped there. Here's Perry. Back to Ryan. Ryan looking to backhand this in front. Perry was looking to scoop it out of the air. couldn't quite do it. And with 7 seconds to go, the Islanders wind this down. A sleepy period here. 10 shots on goal for the Oilers, 9 for the Islanders, 10 now for the Islanders. Off Skinner and away it goes, and we'll have a stoppage for the final buzzer. Friends, that will reach the final marker here of tonight's live stream. Thank you so much for being aboard. Obviously, it's been a fantastic night of Oilers hockey just to actually be back live, but unfortunately, the Oilers yet come up with the result that gets this game in a positive manner. But thank you again. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. We will have the post-game edition here on the channel following tonight's action. But for right now, I'm up on out of here. Thank you for being aboard. We're up on, gone.